Live on a Wednesday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the first of a three-game series between the Grizzlies and the Allen Americans. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. It's the 6th of 8 road games for the Grizzlies in a row. Utah's currently 3-2 on the road trip. They won 2 out of 3 games against the Kansas City Mavericks, and they tied a few team records along the way. Saturday, Utah got a 7-3 victory in the series deciding game last weekend, as Utah has 11 goals in their last 2 games. But how about Andrew Nilsson? We left the broadcast on Saturday thinking that he had picked up 5 assists and was 1 away from the team record. But by the time I got downstairs, printed up a box score, guess what? They had added a 6th assist to Andrew Nilsson's total. And the 6th assist tied a team record with Tim McGauley, who had 6 assists. Oh, that was terrible. Tim McGauley had 1 goal and 6 assists on December 17th, 2019. And McGauley's now playing overseas and doing a great job. And he was unbelievable that night. Andrew Nilsson had 6 assists on Saturday, and he had 1 goal and 1 assist on Friday. So in the last 2 games, Andrew Nilsson with 1 goal and 7 assists, and he was named the league's player of the week. Because, of course, when you get 6 assists like that, you're going to win some awards. And he won the weekly award in the league. Nilsson right now, obviously it's a bit of a small sample size, only a few weeks in, but he currently is 2nd in the league with 10 assists. He leads the league in power play assists with 7 and power play points with 7. Fun fact, 2nd in the league in power play points is former Grizzly Trey Bradley, who has 6 power play points with the Reading Royals. So Andrew's doing some great things this year. He leads all defensemen with 11 points this season. He'll be in the Grizzlies lineup wearing number 44, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Andrew Nilsson can do for an encore. Fun story about Nilsson, though. He was just the number 2 star of the game. You know, he tied a team record with 6 assists in a single game. He was 1 away from the league record, which was set twice back in the 1990s. There were 2 separate players that had 7 assists in a game. Fun fact, though, Nilsson was just the number 2 star of the game, as he had 6 assists. But the number 1 star was Brandon Cutler, who had 2 goals and 1 assist, and he was outstanding on the power play, as Utah was 5 for 6 on the power play on Saturday night. Fun fact, we talked about Tim McGauley getting 1 goal and 6 assists back on December 17th of 2019. McGauley broke a team record at that time with the assists and points. The 7 points broke a team record as well. He was not the number 1 star of that game, as Ty Lewis had 4 goals and 2 assists for the Grizzlies. Utah ended up winning that game 8-2 in Wichita. Grizzlies are taking on the Allen Americans tonight. It's the first of 12 season meetings between the clubs. Last year, the Grizzlies went 5-0 against the Americans, but in the COVID-impacted 2020-21 season, the Grizzlies faced the Allen Americans 18 times during the regular season and another 3 in the playoffs. So with these teams meeting 12 times this season, 6 at each other's site, it should be interesting to see who gets on the winning track here tonight in the series opener, Grizzlies and the Americans. A couple roster moves after Saturday's game. A couple days ago, Monday, I believe, Trent Miner was reassigned to the Grizzlies as he came over from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Miner has appeared in 1 game this season. He stopped 21 of 25. He is the backup tonight. Garrett Metcalf will get the start in net for Utah. It'll be Metcalf's 3rd straight start. He has a record of 2-0 with a 2.95 goals against average and 909 save percentage. So Garrett will get the start in net. Trent Miner is the backup as he comes over from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Ben Tardif earlier today was reassigned to the AHL as he leaves the Grizzlies after a pretty good stretch. You think about the last 2 games for Tardif. You think back to Friday when the Grizzlies ended up winning 4-3. Ben Tardif played a big role in that game. He has 2 goals and 3 assists over his last 2 games. He's got a point in 5 out of 7 games this season. 2 straight multiple-point contests for Ben as he leaves for Colorado of the AHL. No corresponding moves, as it was just Tardif getting called up to the AHL. Nobody coming down from Colorado. Should be a lot of fun, as it looks like the crowd is still filing in to the what used to be known as the Allen Event Center. It is currently known as the Credit Union of Texas Event Center. I'm hanging out at Maverick Center. We got Guy Carenza sitting nearby. We also got Kiki Crum. I think we might even talk with Kiki during the second intermission and get her story, former Grizz girl, and we'll talk with her. She's actually going to type up the postgame story that you can see at UtahGrizzlies.com. So it should be a lot of fun tonight. Series opener between the Grizzlies and the Americans. Utah's 3-2 on the road trip. And you think about if they win 2 out of 3 in Allen, come back home to Maverick Center for 6 straight beginning next Thursday against the Idaho Steelheads 8 days from now. Hey, the Grizzlies will be on a roll as of that point, as they are currently 4-3 on the season. Allen is 2-3. We'll come back and give you the lineups for both teams. It's the Grizzlies and the Americans coming up next. We're in business on a Wednesday night, and you're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto. It's a Wednesday night at Grizzlies hockey as Utah is at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, taking on the Allen Americans, who reside about a half-hour drive from the Dallas Metroplex downtown area. Starting in net for the Grizzlies will be Garrett Metcalf. Garrett is starting his 3rd straight game. He got the victory on both Friday and Saturday night. And Garrett has a 2-0 record with a 2.95 goals against average and 909 save percentage. It'll be the first time in 5 games that Garrett has faced somebody other than the Kansas City Mavericks, as Metcalf is 4-0 in his last 4 games, dating all the way back to March of 2022. Grizzlies are going with 10 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight, as they are going with 16 skaters. Starting, we talked about Metcalf starting in net. Starting defensive pairing for the Grizzlies, Andrew Nelson, the reigning league player of the week. Andrew's got 11 points in 7 games, 1 goal and 10 assists. 7 of those assists have come on the power play. Utah really broke through on the man advantage after going 2 for 29 in the first 6 games of the season, as they went 5 for 6 on Saturday in the 7-3 victory. Nelson will be paired up with Nate Klarman, the former Notre Dame captain, who's got 2 assists in 7 games this season. Other defensemen that will see action for the Grizzlies tonight include Joey Colatarchi, who's making his 3rd appearance of the season. Colatarchi is a +2 this year. The captain, Connor McDonald, scoreless through 7 games, but he's done an outstanding job defensively. Watch out for him away from the puck, as he is dynamite. Does a great job in the corners, winning those one-on-one battles. The captain's done a great job this season. Bryson Martin also looking for his first point of the season. Martin is 6'2", 195 pounds. He'll wear number 14. And we'll also see Kyle Pouncey tonight, wearing number 23. It'll be his 4th game of the season. So starting defensive pairing again is Nilsson and Klarman. We will also see Colatarchi, McDonald, Martin, and Pouncey. Scratches on the defensive line for the Grizzlies include Victor Bartley, who's played in 6 games this season and has 1 assist. Grizzlies are also without James Shearer, who's battling an injury. He played in 3 games earlier this season. And Jordan Stone, who's yet to appear in a game this year. Stone is out of the lineup again. He normally wears number 19. 10 forwards for the Grizzlies tonight. The starting forward line for the Grizzlies includes Cameron Wright. And talk about players who have shined over the last 2 games. How about Cameron Wright, who got the overtime game winner last Friday against Kansas City? Wright has 2 goals this season. Both of them have been game winners. In the last 2 games, Wright has 1 goal and 5 assists. And if Nilsson didn't win the league's Player of the Week honors, I know Cameron Wright would certainly have been a good candidate with what he did for the Grizzlies in the last 2 games. Cameron also leads Utah with 29 shots, which ranks tied for third in the league. So Cameron Wright is one starter wearing number 15. Zach Sekos is also getting the start. He had 2 goals on Saturday night against Kansas City. He is second on the team with 4 goals, and he's got a pretty good shooting percentage of 26.7%, 4 for 15. Zach also leads the club in plus-minus at a +4. So it's Wright, Sekos, as well as who's the 5th starter? Well, you think about the ECHL app, they've only got 4 starters listed. Maybe we're going to start out shorthanded. Now, it looks like Cam Strong's also going to be in the starting lineup for the Grizzlies. Strong wearing number 26 has 1 assist in 7 games. So the starting forwards are Wright, Sekos, and Strong. Starting defensive pairing is Nilsson and Klerman. Starting in net for the Allen Americans is Luke Parasini. He'll be making his 4th appearance this season. Parasini has a record of 1-2 with a 2.72 goals against average and 882 save percentage. He'll be wearing number 31. He's got good size at 6'3" and 195 pounds. Parasini in net last season for Allen. In 27 games, he had a record of 15-8 with a 915 save percentage and a 3.13 goals against average. Starting defensive pairing for Allen, the former Grizzly Chris Mallory, who's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 5 games. Mallory is a +4 for the Americans. And he'll be paired up with Colton Saucerman, the former Idaho Steelhead. And it'll be interesting to see if Saucerman still has his massive beard, as when he played for Idaho and even with Manchester a little bit, he was known to have one of the best beards in the league. Saucerman will wear number 23. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 5 games this season. Starting forwards for the Americans, Colton Hargrove has 2 goals and 2 assists in 5 games. Hargrove will wear number 7. Jackson Leopard had 2 goals against the Grizzlies the last time these teams met on a Sunday afternoon. Leopard had 20 goals and 15 assists in 70 games. And we'll also see Jared Bethune. Bethune normally listed as a defenseman. Now it almost looks like Allen's got 3 defensemen listed, but he will be in there for the Americans. Actually looks like Bethune is listed as a forward, and he might get the start, but we also will see a lot of Marcel Godbout. Godbout, G-O-D-B-O-U-T. He's scoreless in 3 games, but he's going to be on the top forward line for the Americans tonight. But one guy to watch out for on the Allen club is Jack Combs, who has quite a resume. Combs has been with the Americans for many years. He's bounced around. He's made the rounds, as they would say. He's played in 617 pro games. He's got 587 pro points. This is about a point a game in his professional career. Last season with the Americans had 21 goals and 41 assists in 60 games. And already this year, Combs has 3 goals and 3 assists in 5 games. So if the Americans get something done offensively, I imagine that Jack Combs is going to be at the middle, right there in the middle of things, getting the job done, as the Americans have a record of 2-3. Grizzlies are 4-3 on the season. It's the 6th of 8 straight road games for Utah, as the Grizz are currently 3-2 on the road trip. We'll come back and have face-off as the Grizzlies are over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. I'm hanging out at Maverick Center watching on Flow Sports. And we'll also be on YouTube for the audio stream. Those are your homes for Grizzlies hockey all season long. Face-off is coming up next on this Wednesday night. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's a great night for hockey as 2 big standings points are on the line tonight between the Grizzlies and the Allen Americans. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Garrett Metcalf will get the start in net. This will be his 3rd straight start. The backup tonight is Trent Miner. Scratches for the Grizzlies tonight include goaltender Lucas Perique, defenseman Jordan Stone, James Shearer, and Victor Bartley, and forwards Christian Simeone and Neil Robinson. Looks like crowd still filing in on a Wednesday night. First of a 3-game set. These teams will also meet on Friday and Saturday night. Face-off will be at 6:05 in the Mountain Time Zone, both games. And I think if you're the Grizzlies, you want to come out strong. Really want to come out to a fast start. You want to play with the lead, especially with as dominant as the Grizzlies have been in second periods this season. If there's one thing the Grizzlies would like to make a bit of an improvement on, it is their third period production, as the Grizzlies have struggled a little bit in the third periods of games this season. If you joined us late, Ben Tardif was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier today. Tardif was outstanding in the last two games with 2 goals and 3 assists, as he had a goal in each of the last 2 games. And the Grizzlies offensively really got rolling over the last 2 games. If you think about it, over the first 5 games of the regular season, Utah had 10 goals. Over the last 2 games, the Grizzlies with 11 goals. They scored 4 last Friday in a 4-3 overtime victory. Cameron Wright got the game winner. He had 1 goal and 2 assists that night. Andrew Nelson had 1 goal and 1 assist. But on Saturday, the power play got going. They were 2 for 29 in the first 6 games of the regular season, and the power play on Saturday night was 5 for 6. We'll come back in 30 seconds and have face-off over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a great night for hockey as the Grizzlies are taking on the Americans. Utah wearing the black jerseys with white numbers, white on the elbows, and professional green trim. The Americans are wearing a white jersey with red numbers, white lettering in the back of the jersey, white numbers on the sleeves, red shorts, and red and white on the socks. Draws at center ice taken by Zach Sekos, won by Allen, but it goes to a Grizzlies defenseman, and we're underway. Utah skating from left to right as you see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Now Allen gets it. They're back in their own zone as they'll pitch it out to center ice. Pass didn't connect as the arm is raised by the linesman as we get our first whistle 15 seconds into the game. Starting lineup for the Grizzlies has Zach Sekos, Cameron Wright, and Cam Strong. That's the 3 on the ice starting the game. On the forward line, Nate Clermont and Andrew Nelson are the defensemen. Sekos will take the face-off. He's got Strong to his right and Cameron Wright to his left. Taking the draw for Allen is number 7, Colton Hargrove. As the Grizzlies win the draw, Clermont gets to Nilsson. He swings and didn't get much on a one-timer in the high slot. Puck exited the zone, and Nilsson looked like he tried to bring it back in offside of the Grizzlies. Looked like a stick might have broken. Jackson Leopard was in the area as we get a whistle 23 seconds into the game. We're still early on. Everybody make your picks to click over in the Grizzlies live chat on YouTube. I am going to go with Zach Sekos as my pick to click. He had 2 goals on Saturday as Utah wins the faceoff at neutral ice. Nilsson will wrap it around the boards. It goes to the right side. Wright will kick it to the near goal line for Strong. He overskates the puck. Now Allen comes back the other way. Americans. Jackson Leopard crosses center ice, right wing, and dumps it in as it rolls around the boards. Now it kicks to the left circle. Allen will skate back towards the corner. Leopard tries to feed it out in front, and it doesn't connect. Now right wing shot. Saved by Metcalf is deflected off of him and goes along the near boards. As Jackson Leopard skates towards neutral ice, the Americans have it back in their own zone, skating from right to left. Dalton Skelly, number 24, skates down the middle. He'll enter the zone, and he'll take a shot that's blocked by Sekos, and it goes to the near corner. Grizzlies get it back towards Terran Pfizer, his first shift of the game. Pfizer has a point in 6 of 7 games. He'll skate towards the right side. He'll take a righty shot on it. Goes wide on Parasini. Puck rolls along the far boards. Cutler will kick it back in as Allen will retake the puck as Skelly will feed it across, and the Americans back at their goal line will start the attack as Allen looking to improve their team speed this season in Chad Costello's first year. They cross center ice. Now they gain the offensive line. They'll feed it to the slot and try to pitch it out to Jack Combs on the left side, and the pass is behind him. Dakota Raby enters the zone, gets it to Cutler, right side, shot, saved by Parasini. as Raby dropped it off for Cutler, and Brandon had a good look, but the Allen goaltender made a glove save as we get a whistle with 18-16 left in the first. What a game it was for Brandon Cutler on Saturday night. It was really a breakthrough game with 2 goals and 1 assist. He's lined up with Dakota Raby and Taryn Pfizer here this evening. And there's Chad Costello on Flow Sports. He is the new head coach of the Allen Americans. Costello is a cinch to make the ECHL Hall of Fame. He was one of the best players in league history. Tyler Penner will take the draw against Anthony Durham. Durham scoreless in 1 game this season, but Durham wins the draw as the Americans will throw it to neutral ice. It goes past Nielsen and onto an Allen skater as they'll cross into Grizzlies territory. Now they'll step over the blue line, left point shot that goes high off the glass over Metcalf's head. Now it goes back towards the left side. Shot, save, rebound, shot, save by Metcalf as the Americans were able to feed one out in front as Penner along the boards, Nielsen in the corner, and now the puck kicks towards Utah as they'll bounce it off the far glass and goes to neutral ice. Allen gets it as they'll feed it across. The Americans dump it in, and that was number 58, Marcel Godbout. Godbout so far this season is scoreless in 3 games. Now the Grizzlies will bounce it off the far boards. Dylan Fitz will skate off the ice after his first shift as Allen has it back deep in their own zone. 2.5 minutes into the game, still no score. And we've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time as the Americans will restart the attack, and they'll dump it in. Racing after it is Utah as it goes to the left corner. Allen gets hit. Utah comes out with a puck as they'll feed it to the Allen blue line and into the corner as Keaton Jamison gets hit. And Utah in the area. Cameron Wright getting pushed along. Wright skates towards the point. He'll feed it up top for Clermont. Nate gets it across, and righty defenseman has it. They'll take a shot that goes wide. Now behind the net, Keaton Jamison. He'll skate towards the far corner. He'll get it up top for Pouncey. Pouncey will skate towards his right. He's now on the right point, and he'll dump it into the corner as it rolls around the boards behind the net. As it looked like taking a hit there was number 17, Zach Sekos, but it goes back to Utah on the left point as they feed it out in front, and it looks like the shot ended up getting blocked as Utah was trying to redirect it, and I think that was Jamison. As Allen out to neutral ice, crosses center. Chris Mallory, 3rd different team he's played in this league. He'll feed it to the left point. Now around the boards. Mallory behind the net looked to center it, and Utah picked it off. Grizz will get it out to the near side, out across center ice. Cameron Wright dumps it in as it bounces off the end wall on one hop. And it goes back towards Hank Crone. Crone wearing number 67. First time the Grizzlies have seen him. As Jack Combs to neutral ice will feed it across. Zach Pachero, number 18, dumps it in. As Metcalf behind his net will feed it to the right side. Now Utah will get it out to center ice. Pfizer, right wing gets it. Pfizer with good speed, feeds it across to the left side for Cutler. Brandon with a shot that goes wide as it rolls along the near boards. Raby battling, but Allen takes it away at center ice. Americans dump it in. It's taken by Bryson Martin. Martin will skate around his net wearing number 14 as he'll skate towards the far corner. Now feed a pass into the Allen zone. The Americans have it. As Dalton Skelly around the net being chased by Brandon Cutler. Skelly crosses center ice with speed in the right wing, and he'll rip it around the boards. Back towards Jack Combs in the left corner. He'll get it over to Hank Crone. Crone back to Combs. Now it goes to the left point. The Americans will try to bounce it in as it hits off the end wall. McDonald battling with Combs. Combs skates towards the right side, centering pass. One-timer goes wide. Americans on the right side try to get it back to Combs out in front. Passes behind him, and the Grizzlies looked like Pfizer got hit in the corner. He dumps into the American zone. Allen will get it back to center ice. Allen, right wing, dumps it back in. Metcalf behind his net will stop it as the Americans make a line change. So do the Grizzlies. 5 minutes in, still no score. Kind of feels like a feeling out process between these clubs as Penner at center ice loses it. Allen up ahead with a breakaway. Americans skate down the middle. Righty shot and a score. And that's Anthony Durham getting his first of the year as he got a breakaway from about his offensive blue line in. And 14-14 is left in the first. Anthony Durham has given the Americans a 1-0 lead. Boy, for the Grizzlies, it looked like Allen was controlling the neutral zone a little bit. Threw it up top, and looked like Durham was between Clermont and Nielsen, and Durham gets the first goal of the game as he scored 5:16 in. Fans having a good time. Colton Saucerman looks like he's still sporting the beard that he had with the Idaho Steelheads. It's one of the best beards you'll see in the league. Durham with the goal. It's a new addition to the Americans as of a few games ago. As Allen wins the face-off, they'll feed it over to the left wing. Americans were 0-5 against the Grizzlies last year. As the Americans look to center it, Utah picks it off and gets it out to center ice. Passes wide of Cameron Wright. Goes back to the Americans, who are skating from right to left in this first period. Allen back in their corner, gets it across. As the Americans will keep it in their zone, Chris Mallory. He'll now backhand it to center ice. The Americans cross center. Now they cross the blue line. Skating towards the corner is Jackson Leopard. He'll skate towards the near goal line, centers it. Shot saved by Metcalf. Now it goes to the right point. Americans with a righty shot, and that one goes high as Metcalf looked like he leapt in the air, but it was high of him as the puck is along the near side. Now Utah gets it with Connor McDonald. He'll feed it to Bryson Martin along the far side. The Grizzlies still in their own zone. Utah will toss it across to McDonald. Connor feeds it to the left wing. Off the boards, Utah gets it. Grizzlies look to center. Kicked off the stick of Raby as he was cutting down the middle, as he couldn't handle it. As it goes back to center ice. Nielsen will peel back into his own zone and skate towards Metcalf. Now Nielsen will feed it to the right side for Pfizer. He'll get it across off the far boards for Cutler. Cutler will skate towards his own goal line, feed it to his junior teammate, Pfizer. Both guys were teammates with the Victoria Royals for 3 seasons. Now the Grizzlies get it to neutral ice, left wing. Grizz overskate the puck as they're looking to feed it back towards their offensive blue line. Now across to Combs. Combs to the left side. Feeds it across the right. Shot saved by Metcalf. Good idea by Combs as he had an open guy on the right side. Puck along the far boards. Grizzlies will get it out to center. Potential 3-on-2. Grizzlies skate towards the left side. Feed it to the middle for Pfizer. He'll take a shot and he scores! Taryn Pfizer lights the lamp from the slot. And it looks like Raby should get an assist. And Utah's tied it up at 1. Boy, Pfizer gets his 6th of the year as he was skating down the middle. Utah had a 3-on-2, and I think that might have been Raby over to the left side. Fed it down the middle for Pfizer, and Taryn was all alone. When you leave an elite shooter like Taryn Pfizer open, he's going to convert more times than not. So that's Pfizer's team leading 6th goal of the season, and with 12:54 left in the first, we're tied at 1. As the Grizz win the face-off, they'll throw it to neutral ice. Now Allen dumps it back in. That's Lord Anthony Grissom dumping it in, the Detroit native, as he is scoreless through 5 games this season as it's Allen's 6th game. And it looks like the puck ends up going out of play. We're tied at 1, as we'll be back in 60 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. We're tied at 1 in what's been an entertaining start so far. Anthony Durham got a pass from Marcel Godbout, and Durham scored 5:16 in. And Durham last season, I believe, played for the Norfolk Admirals, as he's pretty new to the Allen Club this season. Time of that goal was 5:16 in. Grizzlies tied it up 7:06 in, as they had a 3-on-2. Clermont and Raby with the assist. I believe Raby was on the left side and centered it to Pfizer, and Taryn was all alone. He fired away and got a pass, Luke Parasini, and Pfizer gets his team leading 6th goal of the season. For Clermont, it's his 3rd assist of the year, and Raby gets his 2nd assist of the campaign. Allen has outshot Utah 4-3. Grizzlies have the puck skating from left to right in their own zone, as Martin will skate across center ice from the left wing, and he'll dump it around the boards. As Allen, Lord Anthony Grissom has the puck, the Detroit native. He played for the Peoria Rivermen of the SPHL last year. And the Lord will hand it off to somebody else behind the net, and that's number 5, Nick Albano, who's got 2 assists in 5 games. And they'll get it out towards neutral ice. Grizzlies pick it off. Grizzlies step over the offensive line and roll it around the boards. Parasini cuts it off behind his net as he'll roll it past Tyler Penner onto the right point. Allen pushes Utah back to neutral ice. Now the Americans cross center. Good check by Penner on number 44, Anthony Durham, the Allen goal scorer. Grizzlies get it back in their own end as they'll feed it out to center ice. Penner crowds it, and he'll get it across to Fitz. Right side, Fitz will fire a shot from his offensive blue line that goes wide. Now the Grizzlies in the left corner skate to the goal line. Shot saved by Parasini. That was kind of a tough angle look from near the corner, and Parasini was able to make the stop. I think taking that shot was Cam Strong, number 26. Strong going to play a little bit bigger role for the Grizzlies tonight, as somebody's going to have to pick up the slack with Ben Tardif being sent to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier today, and I imagine that Cam Strong might see a little bit more playing time as a result. 11:48 left in the first. I imagine by the end of tonight on Flow Sports, we'll see every single person in attendance over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, as Grizz win the draw in the offensive zone as they'll skate towards the left point. Utah throws it back up top for Klerman. He'll get it to the right side for Pouncey. He'll take a shot, save. Rebound out in front. Jamison tried to kick it in, but it goes wide. Actually didn't literally kick it in. Shot from the right wing, saved by Parasini. Now the Americans will skate it out to neutralize themselves. They'll bounce it off the near boards. Pouncey racing after it. So is Klerman as Utah comes up with a puck. As Klerman gets bounced in the corner. Pouncey over there as he's battling with Jackson Leopard. Now Klerman avoids a check. Another Grizzlies skates over there in kind of a tough angle for this camera. Now ahead. Grizzlies will cross center ice. They win the puck. A good battle by the Grizzlies, winning that 2-on-2 battle in the corner. As Nielsen gets blasted at center ice by Leopard. Grizzlies enter 2-on-2. Left wing shot. Kick save by Parasini. Puck still in play to this. It redirected over to the right corner. As the Americans will cross center ice 2-on-3. Allen will dump it towards the left side. Utah picks it off. Grizzlies cross center ice as Raby gets it taken away by Hank Crone, wearing number 67. Crone previously played at Northern Michigan University. He's got decent size, although he's a little bit smaller, 5'9", 160 pounds, a native of Cedar Hills, Texas. Now skating in, Crone with a shot saved by Metcalf. As the puck ends up in the slot, Crone wants it down the middle as Allen skates towards the right side. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to Crone as he'll feed it across to the right point. Now back to Crone. Crone up top for Dalton Skelly. Skelly will feed it to the left side to American that dumps it in. Oh, it's number 3. I don't have a 3 on my roster sheet. It's over to the right point. Allen with a shot that goes wide. Bounces off the end boards as Allen. Brandon Cutler in the corner. Allen comes out of it with a puck. Pachiro with a shot that goes wide as he tried to go low on Metcalf. As the puck rolls along the far boards, Allen will get it back as he'll toss it towards Crone. Crone tried to dump it into the corner. Didn't get there as it looked like Jack Combs was skating towards that area. Now Pouncey has the puck as he gets back checked by Crone. And Combs as the Grizzlies cross center ice and dump it in. And now it's taken by Utah's Johnny Walker. Will feed it towards Pouncey. He'll take a shot, save. Rebound shot from the left side. That goes wide as the Americans will carry it out. Number 3 is Gagnon, Ryan Gagnon, and he's not on one of the roster sheets, but he's on one of them for Allen as he's a defenseman. Now left wing shot saved by Parasini. Rebound trying to skate down the middle was Walker. He gets it poked away. Allen crosses center ice. Now they'll skate in. Americans will bounce it out the far boards. Now it's to the right side. Allen behind the net gets pinned by Connor McDonald. Less than 9 minutes left in the first period. We're tied at 1. As McDonald continues to pin Allen in the corner. He's so good at that. As Cole Tarchi's over there as well. Walker standing nearby. As the puck's still in the corner. As McDonald holds strong, but so do the Americans. As Allen, as the pile unpiles, and Allen's the one that has the puck as they try to feed it to the right circle. Utah picks it off. Grizz will bounce it off the near boards and make a line change with 8.5 minutes left in the first. Allen will feed it across to Jackson Leopard on the left side. He couldn't get a shot off. Now Leopard throws it to the left circle from the end wall, and Utah picks that off. Grizz cross center as they'll get it to the right side for Cameron Wright in the corner. Wright avoids a check at Colton Hargrove, and the puck ends up back with the Americans. Allen neutralized with a right wing pass. They'll skate into the zone from the right side. They get around Nilsson. Now they're at the far goal line. They try to kick it to Leopard, but it bounces over to the right point. Now the Americans will kick it to the left corner. Utah runs it down. Wright has it bounce off his stick and goes to Allen at neutral ice. Americans peel back into their own zone. 7:50 left in the first and counting. Tied at 1. As the Americans skate from right to left. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. As the Americans get it out to center ice, Pfizer picks it off. He'll roll it along the far boards. Allen runs it down. Americans around the net will get it ahead. Jack Combs will feed it to center ice. Now the Americans try to get it back towards Hank Crone. Crone feeds it up top for Pachero. He'll take a shot that gets blocked. Utah runs it down all the way down to the American zone, but Allen gets there first. As the Americans doing a pretty good job defensively in this first period. They'll feed it over to the left wing. Cross-ice pass bounces off the boards. Utah trying to corral it. Now to the left wing. Allen with a shot that goes wide. Puck rolls towards the far boards. Grizzlies get it. 3-on-2. They cross center ice. As Utah enters the zone. Penner, right wing. They tried to kick it to Pfizer out in front, but just took a shot. Parasini makes the save. Now Crone gets it. Crone to the left side, skates towards the circle, stops, tries to feed the goal line, and Utah picks it off. Grizz, cross center ice. Nielsen will get it to Fitz. Fitz will skate towards his left. Feeds it out in front to Penner. Penner with a shot. Saved by Parasini. Boy, good job by Fitz as he was in the slot, skated towards his left, centered it to Penner. And Tyler had a pretty good look, but Parasini, the Allen goaltender, makes the save. 6:36 left in the first period. We're tied at 1. There's a timeout on the ice. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network. We're tied at 1 between the Grizzlies and Americans, first of a 3-game series. It's the 6th of 8 straight road games for the Grizzlies. Utah's 3-2 on the trip. They split a 2-game series against the Idaho Steelheads in the final weekend of October. And then last weekend, the Grizzlies won 2 out of 3 games against Kansas City. Kansas City won the series opener 8 days ago by a 3-2 score. And then last Friday, Utah won 4-3 in overtime. And last Saturday, Utah went 5 for 6 on the power play as they defeated Kansas City 7-3. As for the Americans, they're 2-3 on the season. They're 1-1 at home and 1-2 on the road. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. We haven't had a single power play. It almost feels like a little bit of that filling out process between these clubs, trying to figure each other out, as it's the first of 12 season meetings between the clubs. Draw's going to be in the right circle of the Allen zone. As Utah wins the offensive zone face-off, Wright gets to the corner around Mallory. Wright gets poked away by Mallory. Wright battling with Mallory, the former Grizzly in the corner. Mallory trips up Wright, and no call. Now the Americans cross center ice as Colton Hargrove will skate down the left side. I try to feed it across. Pass was wide of the mark. And the Grizzlies cross center ice, 4-on-4, as Utah will skate towards the corner. Keaton Jamison skates around the net. Now he'll skate towards the right side. He'll feed it up top. As Sekos will take a shot, saved by Parasini as Sekos was skating towards his left into the high slot. Fired a quick-looking wrist shot, but Parasini, who's sporting a beard as he takes his helmet off, is talking with one of the linesmen. Parasini makes the stop. Last season played with the Allen Americans. He was probably Allen's most reliable goaltender last year. Well, it looks like McDonald's is the official sponsor of the Allen Americans goalposts, as they got McDonald's logos there. Grizzlies hockey all season long is brought to you by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away, and by Maverick, Adventure's first stop. Cutler will take the face-off against Jack Combs, and the draw won by Allen as Dalton Skelly will skate towards his far goal line, now around his own net, as the Americans skate from right to left, as they'll feed it to the near side. Allen will bounce it into the Grizzlies zone, run down by Bryson Martin as he'll nudge it ahead. Grizzlies get it to neutralize, but Allen gets it back as they'll peel back into their own zone. Americans feed it off the boards on the near side over to Hayton Crone, who played at Northern Michigan University last season. He turns it over. Grizzlies in the right wing. Pfizer ahead to Cutler. Cutler skating along the near side. Stops. Gets it across looking for Raby, but Allen picked it off. Now the Americans cross center ice. They don't have numbers. Grizzlies do a good job getting back defensively. Ryan Gagnon, who played at the University of Calgary and was a teammate of James Shearer, he rolls it back towards the near side. As Utah will feed it over to the high slot. Grizz will clear it out. Allen will run it down. As the Americans right wing cross center ice, as they'll roll it around the boards. About half the team is actually Canadian, as the puck kicks towards Lord Anthony Grissom. He couldn't keep it in. Now the Americans run it down. Nick Albano will skate back towards his goal line. Now feed it across past Lord Anthony Grissom as the Americans cross center ice. As Allen skates into the offensive zone, Anthony Durham around the net with good speed. He skates towards the right side, feeds it up top. Now they try to get it across to Grissom. Grissom over to the corners. It rolls back behind the net over the goal, past the goal line, and the Grizz feed it back towards the right corner. Now the Americans keep the puck in the offensive zone. Now they try to feed it out in front, and the pass bounced off a skate. Grizzlies cross center ice, trying to dump it in, but couldn't, was Cam Strong. Americans enter the zone 2-on-3. As Allen feeds it towards the corner, Americans will bounce it across to Jackson Leopard. He'll skate towards his end wall, and now around the net. Leopard still with the puck as he's on the left side. He'll skate towards the point. Now he skates towards his right. Leopard's got good speed. He'll skate towards the right circle. Now he tried to get it out in front. It kicked off a skate, maybe the pad of Metcalf, as Leopard will bounce it off the far boards. Allen still in the offensive zone as the Americans get it across. Faking a shot now. Taking one is Massicati, Zachary Massicati, who was just signed recently, and he's a big guy at about 6'5". Right side, the Americans near the point. Feed it across towards Massicati, but it never got to him. Right circle, shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the high slot. We get a whistle, and I think we might have our first penalty of the game, as there's a lot of bodies out in the crease, about 3 or 4 Grizzlies and 3 or 4 Americans. So it looks like somebody's going to get a penalty, and it looks like it's going to be on Utah. First penalty of the game looks like it's on the Grizzlies. 3:29 left in the first. We'll give you the details and the Allen power play when we come back in 30 seconds. We're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
We're not really sure what rule Cam Strong broke, but he is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or discard that letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team, Rogers and Russell. So Strong is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Allen, so far on the season through 5 games, is 19% on the power play. Utah's penalty kill is 77.8%. Grizz win the face-off, and they'll clear it all the way down towards Luke Parasini, the Allen goaltender. Allen is skating from right to left in this first period. High sticking is the call on Cam Strong, a 2-minute penalty, as the Americans get it out to center ice. Hank Chrome will feed it across, soft pass. Grizzlies poke it back as it stays in the Grizzly zone. Now Cameron Wright will clear it out. Parasini has the puck roll towards him, and he'll give way as the Americans restart the attack. Colton Sosserman, sporting a sweet-looking beard, will throw it ahead as Colton Hargrove skates around everybody down the middle, take a shot, saved by Metcalf. And the puck ends up going towards the near corner. And the Grizz are able to clear it out as Allen was over in the left point, and Zach Pachiro couldn't keep it in. Sosserman runs it down. He's played against the Grizzlies quite a bit over the last couple years as he was with the Idaho Steelheads for 2 separate seasons. He'll get it across to Hargrove across the center ice. Hargrove dumps it into the corner, and he tried to feed it up top. Nilsson picked it off, and he'll clear it, but it looks like a whistle blew. 2:23 left in the first. We don't get to hear the whistles over in Allen, but looks like the faceoff's going to stay in the Grizzlies zone as Hargrove early in the power play got around everybody, including Connor McDonald, and had a grade A opportunity. That's probably Allen's best look of the first period that came here early in the power play, and that was taken by Colton Hargrove, who last season played with the Norfolk Admirals. 55 seconds left in the power play as Cam Strong called 2 minutes for high sticking. The shot count, Utah has 9, Allen was 7. We'll go over all the stats during the first intermission. As Allen wins the faceoff, they skate towards their left. Chris Mallory will feed it to the left circle. Now back up top to Mallory. He'll get it across. Sosserman will take a righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the right corner. Grizzlies get it across to the left side. Nielsen tried to nudge it ahead, but it's taken by Allen, still in their offensive zone. As Sosman over to Mallory. Mallory with a lefty shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the left side as Allen got hit in the back. No call there. 25 seconds left in the Cam Strong penalty as the Americans back in the high slot. Get it over to the left side. Utah picks it off. Grizz will skate out towards neutralize, and Cam Wright will dump it in onto Parasini. Great job by Cameron Wright being in the right place at the right time. Over in the corner, Wright gets around Mallory. Now he'll feed it back to neutralize as it goes past everybody deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah playing a game of keep away as Metcalf over to McDonald. He'll get it to the corner. It goes past a Grizzly. Now we're back to 5-on-5 skating as Cam Strong joins the play. Utah tried to get it to Cam Strong, and it bounced off a stick. Strong in the offensive zone drops it off for Penner. Penner in the right circle gets it taken away by Dalton Skelly as Allen with Crone in the area as they get it past Crone. Right point, McDonald with a shot saved by Parasini as McDonald fired away with 1:07 left in the first. Parasini holds on as he made a nice glove save, sporting a plain white helmet. It looks like barring something happening in the final minute of this first period, we will be tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. Only 2 other games in the league tonight. Wheeling defeated Toledo 4-3. That game is played early in the morning. One of those field trip games with a bunch of kids in attendance. Starting in a few minutes, Idaho is at Rapid City. Andrew Nilsson races over there. 59 seconds left in the first. Draw's going to come back towards Luke Parasini. It'll be interesting to see how Allen, as the series plays out, matches up with Utah's speed. It looks like Allen's got a lot of experience. When you think about guys like Jack Combs and Colton Saucerman, but how do they match up with Utah's speed? That's still to be decided. It's been an interesting first period, kind of an evenly played first period as we're tied at 1 currently. And it feels like the first 20 minutes of play here is just both teams getting a feel for the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents. And taking the draw is Jack Combs for Allen. He wins the faceoff against Brandon Cutler. Puck rolls along the near boards. Utah gets it back in their own zone as Klerman will feed it across to Nilsson. Andrew, the reigning league player of the week, over to Klerman as he'll bounce it off the near boards at center ice. It goes past Pfizer onto an American as they'll get it out to center ice. And Allen dives towards the right corner, trying to keep it in. Crone was the one that dived for it. And now the puck ends up on the right side. Allen will chip it across to the left corner. Half a minute left in the first period as the whistle blows with 28 seconds left in the first. As we're tied at 1, it looks like a Grizzly's going to get a penalty as Andrew Nilsson goes to the penalty box as he was battling with an American over in the near side. And it looks like Colton Hargrove might have drawn a penalty as his stick broke, and that could end up being the cause. Nilsson is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. It'll be Allen's second power play of the evening. We're tied at 1 with Utah outshooting Allen 10-8. As the Grizz win the face-off, as they're shorthanded, they'll cross center ice and dump it in. 20 seconds left in the first period. Allen will be on the power play to start the second if they don't score here late in the first. Allen will get it to neutral ice. Hank Crone crosses center ice. He's been one of Allen's best skaters so far. And so he'll throw it to the left circle. Allen back to the point. 3 seconds left. Will feed it over to the right side. They fake a shot, get it over to the left. Now back up top, and time runs out before Allen's able to get a shot off. So we're tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. Anthony Durham got the Americans on the board first, 5:16 in, with the assist going to Marcel Godbout. Utah got the equalizer on a 3-on-2. Klerman and Raby got the assist. I believe it was Raby over in the left side near the circle, centered it to Pfizer, and Terran was all alone and fired away from the slot about halfway from the goal line to the blue line, and he was able to get his 6th of the season, and that tied it up, and that's where we stand now. Allen will be on the power play for the first minute 32 of the second period. We'll come back and recap the first period, and we'll also go over some scores from around the world of sports here on this Wednesday night as we're tied at 1. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report begins shortly on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report as we're tied at 1 over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, formerly known as the Allen Event Center. I'm Tyson Whiting, having some fun on a Wednesday night. We'll talk with Guy Carenza a little bit later on. During the second intermission, we'll introduce you to Kiki as we'll talk some hockey with her and get her life story, I guess. And we'll have and she'll be typing up the post-game story that you can catch at UtahGrizzlies.com. That was a pretty straightforward first period as Marcel Godbout, who last season played for the Peoria Rivermen of the SBHL, got it to Durham, and Durham collected the pass at his offensive blue line. He had Nate Clerman to his left, but really it was just a clear path from Durham as he skated down the middle and got a shot past Garrett Metcalf, and that made it 1-0. It was really as simple as that. Durham last season played for Norfolk of the ECHL. He's 6'4" and 200 pounds, and he looks like he's been one of Allen's best forwards. So far tonight, it was his first goal of the season. Tonight is his fourth game of the year as Allen has battled some injuries. They've already made quite a few roster moves over the first 3 weeks of the season. Less than 2 minutes later, the Grizzlies tied it up as they skated in with a 3-on-2. Clerman got it to Raby, and I believe Raby was on the left side. Unfortunately, they didn't show us a replay, so we didn't get a second look at the play. But Raby was on the left side, centered it to Pfizer, and Taram was all alone. And I think we've seen this season that if there's one Grizzly you don't want to leave alone, that's Taran Pfizer, because it seems like he doesn't miss his chances. You know, Taran could get 2 looks a game, and you know that at least one of them ended up in the back of the net. It's Pfizer's team-leading 6th goal of the season. For Clerman, it's his 3rd assist, and for Dakota Raby, his 2nd assist of the season. And really, if you think about goal scorers, I mean, obviously Zach Sekos has been the hottest one for Utah so far this season. For Pfizer, he now has a point in 7 of 8 games, and he's got a point in 4 straight. Taran, so far this season, how many shots did he take in the first period? Looks like only 1. He's got 6 shots. He's got 6 goals on 20 shots this season. He's got an even 30% shooting percentage. So you're talking about a guy that's just been outstanding for the Grizzlies offensively. And like I said, he's been able to bury a lot of his chances. You know, you see some guys, they'll get 4 really good looks a game, and they're lucky if they bury 1. You know, for Pfizer, he could get 2 looks a game, and you know that at least one of them is ending up in the back of the net. There was a couple penalties in the first period. Both of them were on the Grizzlies. Cam Strong got a high sticking minor, 16:31 in. Grizz did a good job on that penalty kill, but I think the best chance Allen had was very early on their power play as Colton Hargrove just skated down the middle, somehow was able to get around Connor McDonald and have a really good look out in front of the net, and Garrett was able to make a save on that. That was probably Allen's best look of that entire power play, and Allen will be on the man advantage the first minute, 32 seconds of the second period as Andrew Nilsson got a tripping minor, 19:31 in, and looked like Hargrove was actually the one that drew that penalty over in the left corner. His stick ended up breaking, and Nilsson got the penalty. And Allen didn't really get much of a look in the first 29 seconds of that power play. So they'll be on the man advantage the first minute 32 of the second period. So Allen right now is listed as 0 for 2 on the power play, even though they are currently in the middle of their second power play. Utah is yet to go on the man advantage. And I wonder, because of how good the Grizzlies were on the power play on Saturday, if that was kind of a point of emphasis by head coach Chad Costello going into this game and making sure that they didn't take any bad penalties and give the Grizzlies any power play looks. Earlier today, if you joined us late, Ben Tardif was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He's got a point in 5 of 7 games for the Grizzlies. And if you also joined us late, Andrew Nilsson won the league's Player of the Week award. He tied a team record with 6 assists last Saturday, and I know we left the air thinking that he had 5 assists, but it looked like after the game he was added a 6th assist, which did tie the mark that was previously set by Tim McGauley back on December 17th of 2019. Trent Miner, if you joined us late, Trent Miner was reassigned to the Grizzlies back from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He is the backup to Garrett Metcalf tonight. Garrett is playing his 3rd game of the season as he has started 3 in a row. He stopped 7 of 8 in the first period. Allen's Luke Parasini stopped 9 of 10. Grizzlies had 10 shots in the first period. Tyler Penner led Utah with 3 shots, and then 7 other Grizzlies had 1, including Pfizer's, who found the back of the net. I know that Penner didn't convert on any of those, but it seemed like he played a pretty good first period for the Grizzlies in the first 20 minutes. For Allen, they had 8 shots. Zach Pachiro had 2, and then 5 other Americans with 1 shot. I was pretty impressed with Hank Chrome, wearing number 67. He's not a very big guy, 5'9" and 160 pounds, but he's got off to a good start for Allen this season as he has 2 goals and 2 assists in 5 games. Let's check some scores from around the league. In a game that was played this morning, I think it was a 10:30 a.m. Eastern time zone start, Wheeling defeated Toledo 4-3 in a shootout. So both teams came away with a standing point. Wheeling got the second standing point. Former Grizzly Cedric Pare is now playing for the Wheeling Nailers, and Pare picked up a goal in the second period. For Wheeling, he was a +1 and had 3 shots. Pare, if I remember right, was either the second leading scorer or third leading scorer on the Grizzlies back in the 2020-21 season. He was somebody that had a pretty impressive shot. He even spent some time in the AHL with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And so Cedric Pare, he's done some good things since leaving Utah, and he scored a goal this morning for Wheeling in a 4-3 victory. For Toledo, Brett McKenzie and John Albert had 2 of Toledo's goals, and then Gosselin picked up his first of the year, 9:50 into the third period. It was Wheeling 4 and Toledo 3. Toledo outshot Wheeling 39-30. As the Nailers got a 4-3 shootout victory, their record goes to 3-4 on the season. Toledo falls to 3-2-0-1. Starting in about 20 minutes, the Idaho Steelheads are in Rapid City to take on kind of a little bit of a chilly Rapid City team who's just 2-5 on the season. If we take a quick look at the Mountain Division standings, and we're going to go off of points percentage. Actually, we'll just go off of pure standings points. Most teams have played 7 games, it seems like. Idaho leads the way with a 6-1 record and 12 standings points. Wichita is in second place right now. They have a record of 4-2-1 and a 643 points percentage. Utah is in third with a 4-3 record and a 571 points percentage. Now, Kansas City, through 6 games, has a better points percentage with a record of 3-2-1. Right now, they are listed in 4th place. Tulsa is in 5th with a 2-2-1 record and an even 500 points percentage, 5 points in 5 games. Rapid City is in 4th place right now, or they're in 6th place. I mean, really, you can almost say Allen is in 6th because they've got a 2-3 record with a 400 points percentage, and Rapid City is 2-5 with a 286 winning percentage. So you would say that Rapid City right now is in last place in the Mountain Division, depending on whether you want to look at standings points or just look at a winning percentage through a handful of games this season. Obviously, it's a small sample size, and I think that, when you're looking at where the Grizzlies could leave their mark, you're kind of thinking about the team speed that Utah has, and it's going to be interesting to see how they match up with the Americans through the next 2 periods of play, although it does look like the Grizzlies, speed-wise, have been able to match up pretty well. They just got to find a way to stay out of the penalty box. And, we saw, Utah win all 5 games against Allen in the regular season last season, but it looked like a lot of those games were 1 or 2 goal contests, if I remember right. So we'll see what happens as we got about 8.5 minutes of real time until we start the second period of play. We'll talk with Guy Carenza shortly, but let's go over some scores from around the world of sports. In the NHL tonight, looks like there's 4 games in action. Second intermission, Florida leads Carolina 1-0. Halfway through, a game that's played on TNT, Penguins lead the Capitals 1-0. Early second period, Canadians lead the Canucks 3-0. And at 8 o'clock on TNT, it's the Minnesota Wild at the Anaheim Ducks. In the NBA this evening, early third quarter, Jazz lead the Hawks 68-61. Other NBA action at the half, Celtics lead the Pistons 63-49. End of three quarters, Trailblazers lead the Hornets 86-79. At halftime, the Nets lead the Knicks 69-44. Jacques Vaughn was named head coach of the Nets earlier today. Also at the half, Toronto leads Houston 57-54. When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, we'll talk with Guy Carenza and get his thoughts on what was a pretty evenly played first period. It's the Grizzlies won and the Americans won. You're listening to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. First intermission over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, and we're tied at 1 between the Grizzlies and Americans. Anthony Durham scored 5:16 in, and then Taryn Pfizer got the equalizer, 7:08 into the first period with Dakota Raby and Nate Klerman getting the assist that happened on a 3-on-2. And Guy, one of the big advantages Utah had over Allen last season was the Grizzlies' speed. Not that at times, when you got from end to end, it looked like the Grizzlies were able to utilize that speed. But for the most part, it felt like kind of a first period where it was a bit of a filling out process. Just trying to figure out the strengths and weaknesses. The Grizzlies trying to figure out what Allen does well, what they don't do well. It kind of felt like for Allen, they were trying to figure out the Grizzlies as well. And because of that, it wasn't necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing first period. What'd you notice from the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, Tyson, I think that was an accurate assessment of what the Grizzlies did in the first period. They showed flashes of their speed at times, and I think that's their A game. That's their goal, is to beat the Americans with speed, and we saw that at times, but for the most part, like you said, it was a feeling out process, back and forth action. We got the goals there 2 minutes apart, but aside from that, it was just like watching tennis, just back and forth. So we'll see how this thing opens up in the second period, if it does, and I expect it will, because the Grizzlies are seemingly a second period team.
Kind of looked like Allen was going with a little bit of a strategy we saw when Orlando played Utah last season. Get the puck to the corner, cut towards the net, and then find a centering feed out in front. Looked like Allen really wanted to spread the ice just to make sure that they had some room to get those centering passes out in front of the net to connect. And looked like on a couple of occasions they were able to get those through. I thought otherwise, outside of that goal that was scored on a great opportunity, pretty much a breakaway by Anthony Durham, I thought Garrett Metcalf played a pretty good first period.
Yeah, Tyson, I like what you said there. It seems like the American strategy is to get pucks in deep, be really good on the forecheck, and then, like you said, throw things into the middle, because they're not going to beat the Grizzlies with speed. The Grizzlies are a faster team, it seems, than the Americans. But overall, I thought Garrett Metcalf had a really good period, and the defense was good for the Grizzlies, aside from that breakaway goal that they gave up early on.
Taryn Pfizer once again gets the job done. He's up to 6 goals this season to lead the club. And, it was kind of a 3-on-2. Raby just centered it to Pfizer. Pfizer was about halfway from the blue line to the goal line. And you give a guy like that any sort of room, he's going to find a way to bury his chances. And that's been the impressive thing about Taryn Pfizer. He may get 2 good chances a game, but he always finds a way to bury at least one of those.
Yeah, Tyson, Taryn Pfizer may be an early candidate for Rookie of the Year. He's had a really strong showing so far, and you think about the absence of Ben Tardif now that he's back up in the AHL. Who's going to be that guy to fill in and produce on the offensive side of things? And it looks like Taryn Pfizer is that guy. He was that guy early on when Ben Tardif wasn't producing, and he's that guy now with Ben Tardif out of the lineup. So it'll be interesting to see if he can continue this pace. But man, he's doing great so far.
And we joined us late. Ben Tardif called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier today. Allen will be on the power play for the first minute 32 of the second period. Now, the second periods have been outstanding for the Grizzlies. I think they've outscored the opponents 10-3 in the second periods this season. What does Utah need to do to have another strong second period against this Allen team?
Well, first they need to kill off this penalty, right? Get back to 5-on-5, and then they just got to get to their A game. They got to play with speed and beat the Americans to pucks. Get some grade A chances, get some shots on goal. Taryn Pfizer's got a great shot. Johnny Walker's got a great shot. Get the puck to Cutler. Just get shots on goal, and like I said, beat him with speed.
I'm just glad you didn't use the cliche. We just got to go out and play Grizzlies hockey during that second period.
It is Grizzlies hockey. Working pucks in deep, getting fast, opportunities, odd man rushes, all that. Speed is the Grizzlies game.
And it'll be interesting to see two young coaches, Ryan Kanasowicz, who's one of the greatest offensive players in Utah Grizzlies history, and Chad Costello, who is the greatest player in Allen Americans history. Which coach makes those first intermission adjustments? You know, which team comes out with a little bit more in the second period? That might end up deciding who wins this game.
Well, Coach Kanasowicz has done a really good job of managing this Grizzlies team and building them into what they are. They seem to, gel really well. They've got a lot of chemistry. As for Chad Costello, he's got a man on the inside with Combs, his former line mate back there when they were both playing in the ECHL. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out, but I got to go with Kanasowicz on this one.
We'll talk during the second intermission. We're also going to have Kiki making her debut during the second intermission. And I know that Kiki is certainly not nervous, as we'll have some fun here during the second intermission and get her story. She'll be typing up the game story that we can see at UtahGrizzlies.com. Guy, will talk to you during the second.
All right, thank you, Tyson.
That's Guy Carenza. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have second period action as we're tied at 1. Remember, Allen will be on the power play the first minute 32 of the second period. You've been listening to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report. The Grizzlies and the Americans tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Now we're about set to start the second period of play, tied at 1. Allen is 30 seconds into their second power play of the game. First of a 3-game set. Both teams will have tomorrow off, and then they'll meet back in Allen at Credit Union of Texas Event Center Friday and Saturday. Remember, the Grizzlies return home 8 days from now, next Thursday, for a rare Thursday home game against the Idaho Steelheads. Don't forget that Friday, November 18th, is the annual Pooch on the Pond night, where you can sit in a special section, bring your dog to the game, and we'll also have a dog parade and photo booth, and it should be a lot of fun. Pooch on the Pond, November 18th, as we've started action for the second period. Grizzlies win the face-off, and they dump it in. Allen is in the middle of their second power play of the game. They skate from left to right as they cross center ice from the right wing. They'll get it over to Jack Combs, who rolls it around the boards. Now back over in the corner. Allen feeds it up top. Americans get it to the right side. Now back up top as Allen. Sosserman will get it to Jackson Leopard. Colton Hargrove. Hargrove feeds over to the left side, kicks off a Grizzly. Utah gets it and clears it out. Luke Parasini stops it to the left of his net. 54 seconds and counting left in the Allen power play as the Americans cross center ice. They'll feed it down the middle towards Hargrove. Hargrove will get to the corner as he gets hit by Colatarchi. Colatarchi battling. Pfizer gets tripped up. Referee didn't spot it. As the Americans back behind Metcalf's net. Will feed it to Combs on the right side. He'll get it up top for Sosserman. He'll get to the left side. One-timer, and that goes wide off the end wall. Rolls back to Combs. Feeds over to Hank Crone. He'll take a shot that goes wide, and Utah's able to clear it out. Americans make a line change, and so too the Grizzlies. 18:43 and counting left in the second. Late in the Allen power play, we're tied at 1 as the Americans. Nick Albano will skate down the middle. Now feed it to the left side as Allen crosses center ice. Now they'll back it into their own zone. Nilsson stands up, and he's out of the penalty box right now. As Allen is 0 for 2 on the power play, Nilsson will skate towards the bench as the Americans very methodical with their approach here so far tonight. They cross center ice down the middle. Now Allen trying to split a quadruple team. Nate Klerman takes it away. Nate around the net will bounce it off the near wall. Icing might be called, but it's waved off as Fitz skated down there. Parasini played it behind his net as the Americans throw a right wing pass, and they dump it in from center ice. Marcel Godbout chasing after it. He had a first period assist as he's over in the far corner, but it's Utah that gets it. Klerman skates around Metcalf's net. Now feed it across to Nilsson. Andrew will throw it to the far side. Grizzlies banned on clearing it out as looks like whistle blows. 17:48 left in the second. And unfortunately, sometimes with these remote feeds, hard to say why the whistle blew. But it's been an interesting one so far. Now it looks like Allen, we can't really tell. The puck might have exited out play. It's hard to really know. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. It's taking it for Utah is Brandon Cutler, but it's Allen that wins the draw. Americans will throw it down the middle, picked off by Pfizer. Tarrant gets it to Brandon Cutler, and Cutler dumps it in, but not all the way as Allen skated over there and picked it off at their line as Utah dumps it back in from center ice. Bounces to Parasini. Now he'll give way as the Americans will spin it along the near wall. Out to neutral ice. Grizzlies have it. McDonald from center ice rolls it on to Parasini. And Parasini will stop it, and he'll keep the puck in play. As the Americans roll along the near side. Now to the right side. Shot saved by Metcalf. As somehow the puck ended up to the right wing. Hank Crone skated around McDonald and fired away. It looked like Garrett was able to make the stop. 17-13 left in the second. We're still tied at 1. As Crone, you talk about guys who have looked good for Allen. Hank Crone, who's off to a good start this season, appears to be one of Allen's best forwards. In 5 games coming into play tonight, he has 2 goals and 2 assists. Garrett's looked pretty good here in net so far, as the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. 3 minutes into the second period, Utah wins the faceoff as Bryson Martin over in the right corner gets held up. Allen takes the puck as Jackson Leopard dancing around in the corner as he'll skate towards the right point, drops it back off for Chris Mallory. Mallory looks to center it, hits the side of the net, rolls towards Metcalf, and Garrett covers up. 16:54 left in the second, still tied at 1. Draw's going to stay in the Grizzlies zone. Allen has taken 3 shots here so far in the second period. Grizzlies have yet to take one. As Colton Hargrove talking it over with Jackson Leopard. Leopard had 2 goals against the Grizzlies in a game. I think it was the last game these teams played against each other on a Sunday afternoon. Utah ended up getting a 1-goal victory. Draw won by Utah as Klerman will bounce it off the near wall. Right point, Sosserman with a shot that goes wide. Now to the left wing. Shot saved by Metcalf, and Garrett holds on. Couldn't see who took either of those shots. Looked like Jackson Leopard was net front. 16:44 left in the second. Both teams make a line change as the draw stays in the Grizzlies zone. And if you're Allen, you didn't score on that power play, but you were able to generate some offensive zone time. And looks like the puck has been in the Grizzlies zone for most of the second period here so far. Tyler Penner will take the face-off against Anthony Durham. Draw is won by Durham, but it goes past both Allen defensemen. Parasini to the right of his net will feed it to the far side. Now Walker gets it. He'll toss it up top for Nelson, but it glanced off an Allen stick and goes back to center ice. As McDonald back in his own zone, feeds a right wing pass to center ice. Now the Grizz get it to the circle. Utah with a righty shot. Save. Oh, looking for the rebound out on the left side. It goes past Dylan Fitz as Penner. Over to Walker. Walker throws it up top for Colatarchi. Now back to Nilsson. It glanced off his stick, and Allen is able to clear it into the Grizzlies zone. Nilsson gets it. He'll throw it back to Klerman. Now back to Nilsson. I couldn't reach it as it goes off the boards. Nilsson skates over there. He'll nudge it ahead, but it's past Penner onto the right wing. Allen shot saved by Metcalf. That was taken by Marcel Godbout, number 58. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone and dump it in from their offensive blue line. Penner skates over there, but Allen gets there first. Americans will chip it to the high slot. Now they'll cross center ice. Grizz got back defensively. Allen dumps it in, does Godbout. Utah runs it down. McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, will throw it to the near side for Bryson Martin. Martin over to Cutler at center ice. Cutler skates in from the left wing over to the circle. Take a shot. Saved by Parasini. And he holds on. He bobbled it for a second, but then was able to hold on as Brandon Cutler with a pretty good look from the left circle. Parasini made the save. 15:29 left in the second period. We mentioned last year that Parasini was maybe Allen's best goaltender. He was certainly their most reliable, it seemed like at times. Last year, he played in 27 games for Allen and had a 15-8 record with a .915 save percentage and a 3.13 goals against average. He's also got pretty good size at 6'3" and 191 pounds. Draw's going to be in the Allen zone over in the left circle. And the draw won by Utah. Pfizer in the corner. And Raby's over there as well, but Allen takes it away. Ryan Gagnon, number 3. And so feed it towards Pachero as the Americans cross center ice. Jack Combs will bounce it over to the far side, and the Americans dump it in. Utah racing after it. Raby gets hit by Gagnon, but the Grizz skate out to neutral ice. Utah got dumped by Combs, and Allen dumps it onto Metcalf, who makes the save in the crease as the Grizzlies get it ahead. McDonald throws it to center ice. Allen picks it off and drives it back in onto Garrett. Garrett will get it over to Nate Clermont. It looked like the puck kind of handcuffed Metcalf a little bit. 5 minutes into the second period, as Clermont wearing an A on his sweater, so is Dylan Fitz. The captain is Connor McDonald. Clermont will feed a rink-wide pass that goes past Brandon Cutler, but looks like it did get redirected, so no icing. Colton Sossaman behind his net. He'll toss it towards the far side as Allen will throw it ahead. Americans cross center ice. They got a 3-on-3. Jackson Leopard over to the right circle. Take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Allen. Near side, the Americans will fire a shot that goes wide. That was taken by Leopard as well. Puck ends up back to Leopard in the left point. He keeps it in. He'll feed it to the left corner. Allen skates around the net, and now they'll toss it towards Colton Hargrove. He'll get it to the left point as Allen whips it around the boards. McDonald will kick it to the near side. Jamison, wearing number 12, has it. He'll feed it across the wall. Allen gets it left side. Shot saved by Metcalf. Puck rolls along the near side. Taken by Jamison, and he'll get it out to neutral ice. Goes past Cameron Wright onto an Allen defenseman as the Americans back in their own zone. Will backhand it out to center ice, picked off by Martin. Now Utah will backpedal into their own zone. Sekos feeds a blue line to blue line pass. That connects. Grizzlies get double teams. They skeet towards the left circle as Fitz rolls it around the boards. It goes to the right corner. Penner back around. Nielsen in the area, but it's the Americans that clear it all the way out. Looks like it could be icing as it rolls towards Metcalf. He has to play it. So give it to Cam Strong. Grizz will carry it out to neutral ice, and they'll dump it in as it bounces off the end glass. And I think that might be icing on Utah, although Parasini looks like has the puck in his glove. So cross-ice pass onto Parasini. He gloved it and held on. 13-12 left in the second period. Time out on the ice. We'll take one as well. We're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
We're tied at 1 here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network as we're hanging out at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies are at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Allen has outshot Utah 9-2 in the second period, but nothing has found the back of the net here in the middle frame, as the Grizzlies this season have outscored opponents 10-3 in the second periods. And if you think about what Utah did against Kansas City in the second period, this was certainly their money frame, as the Grizzlies outscored the Mavericks 7-3 in the second period. And you think about what Utah did last season in the second period. They were a plus 29, outscoring opponents 96-67. Neither team has scored here so far in the second, but Allen right now is winning the shot count 17-12. Americans win the faceoff. They're in their own zone as we're watching on a remote feed here on Flow Sports, as the Grizzlies get it to the left side. Strong with a shot. Saved by Parasini. No rebound as the Allen goaltender holds on, and right after the whistle, Strong with kind of a nudge for an Allen defenseman. And looked like a couple of Allen skaters went after Cam Strong a little bit, but with an even 13 minutes left in the second period, Utah's going to have an offensive zone draw. And looked like a couple defensemen there for Allen wanting to get after Strong after the whistle. But, of course, we got to see the fans in attendance there in Allen having a good time. I always tried to figure out what the mascot for Allen looked like. He is a bulldog. I know he's actually a good friend of Grisby, and I'm looking forward to the next homestand to see Grisby. It's been a while since I've seen our family and friends at Maverick Center. Next home game will be 8 days from now, November 17th, a rare Thursday home game as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Draw is going to be in the Allen zone as the security person for Allen looks like is having a good time Drop, I believe, is won by the Grizzlies. As we're back to live action, we didn't get to see the face-off. Grizzlies in their offensive zone, skating in the corner. Utah feeds to the right circle. Shot saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to the left corner as the Grizz fall down. So does an Allen player. The arm is raised by the referee. Who's the penalty going to be on? As they battle in the corner, looks like the whistle blows. And looks like it might be on Allen as an American skates towards the penalty box. A Grizzly and an American were battling in the near corner, and all of a sudden you saw both guys kind of stumble onto the ice. Nick Albano for Allen, wearing number 5. He goes to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Albano's going to serve 2 minutes, and the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play for the first time tonight. Albano, 6'2", 190 pounds. Played for Allen last season, so he's in his second season with the Americans. He played in 18 games and had 6 assists. He also spent some time with Springfield and Charlotte in the AHL. He started the season with the Worcester Railers, so he's made the rounds over the last year and a half. Utah was 5 for 6 on the power play. We'll see if that trend continues here tonight as Brandon Cutler will take the face-off, and he wins it. Nilsson feeds it across. Righty shot saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to the left circle, taken by Jackson Leopard. And he'll feed it to the right side. Tried to clear it out, but couldn't. Now Nilsson, wide open slot, shot, saved by Parasini. And he holds on as Johnny Walker was net front, trying to redirect it. But it was a direct shot from Nilsson's stick on to Parasini. And the Allen goaltender's done a good job here so far in limiting the rebounds and second chances for the Grizzlies. It's almost like Utah, whether it's Walker out in front. I've seen Jamison on a couple of occasions, but Parasini's done a good job controlling his rebounds tonight. Cutler will take the face-off. He's got Wright to his right and Walker to his left. I think Nilsson's up top. I can't tell who the other guy is as we're zoomed in on Brandon Cutler here on the Flow Sports feed. Taking the draw for Allen is Colton Hargrove. Hargrove has had a pretty good game. Looks like it's Sekos and Nilsson up top. If it's not Sekos, it's somebody else, as these remote feeds can sometimes be difficult. Draw one by Allen, as it looked like they battled for a couple seconds. Allen will dump it in as Nilsson threw a nudge over at Jackson Leopard. Leopard wanted a call, but the Grizzlies get the puck and will continue to skate 5-on-4. As Utah almost turned it over in their own zone, now they'll feed it to the left side for Cutler. Brandon crosses center ice. He'll skate towards the left circle. As Brandon around the net will feed it to the right point off the boards. Utah gets it back towards Cutler as he skates towards his left. Cutler now in the left circle. Skates towards the near goal line. I try to feed it out in front. It bounced off an Allen stick. Now they're battling behind the near side. Now up top for Nilsson. He'll fire a blast and it goes high off the glass. Stays in play. Nilsson gets it towards the near side. He has the puck. He'll skate towards his right. Now back to Cutler. Cutler skates towards the left circle. Take a shot. Blocker saved by Parasini. Grizzlies have it in the left corner. Walker feeds it across, looking for Nilsson. He reaches with the long stick to keep it in. As Utah over to Pfizer, but he loses the puck and Allen clears it out. 40 seconds left in the Utah power play. We're tied at 1. Neither team has scored so far in the second period. Both teams make a line change as the Grizzlies have it deep in their own zone. They skate from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports in the second period. Right wing pass, the Grizzlies cross center. Now they gain the lines. They dump it into the corner. Sekos feeds it back to the right corner. Now Utah gets it back to Sekos. He's just outside the circle, feeds it up top for Martin. Now he gets it to the right side. Utah will bounce it into the left corner. Sekos skates over there. So does Fitz. Now the Grizz back in the corner. As Fitz skates around the net. Now he's on the right side. He'll throw it up top for Pfizer. Taran with a shot save. Rebound goes to the left circle and poked into the point. Raby back towards Sekos as he gets hit. As the puck's in the corner. As skating over there, Sekos gets hit. Raby in the area. And that will do it for the power play as we're back to skating 5-on-5. Utah feeds it across to the right side. McDonald around the boards. Sekos behind the net. And he'll feed it across the right corner. Nobody there on either side. Utah collides with Allen in the corner. About halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes. Utah gets it to the right point. It exits the zone and goes out of play. Looks like the puck is going to stay in the American zone. 10:07 left in the second period. Still tied at 1. Neither side has scored here so far in the second period. If you joined us late, Anthony Durham gave Allen a 1-0 lead as he scored 5:16 in. Marcel Godbout with the assist. Taryn Pfizer tied it up for Utah 7:06 into the first. Nate Klerman and Dakota Raby with the assists. Utah is 0 for 1 on the power play. Allen is 0 for 2. Draws in the right circle, and it's taken by the Americans as Allen tries to clear it out, and now they do as they'll get it out to center ice. Utah pokes it back into the American zone, but Allen's still in control. Puck ends up near the corner as Durham delivers a hit. He's got good size at 6'4", 200, as the Americans will clear it out to center ice. Utah racing after their blue line. Penner gets it. Now he'll throw it ahead for Jamison. Jamison back towards McDonald, and the captain feeds it across to Nilsson. Andrew with a right wing pass to center ice. Grizzlies enter 2-on-2. Utah gets to Penner. Left side. He'll take a shot on it. Glanced off a stick and goes out of play off the protective netting. 9:28 left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Timeout on the ice. We're back in 30 seconds as nobody has scored here so far in the second period on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're tied at 1 with 9:28 left in the second period. Grizzlies hockey all season long is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company. At Mountain Land Supply Company, they're committed to making their customers' business better. They're also committed to progressive change, creating a remarkable experience, and enriching our community. A proud sponsor of Utah Grizzlies hockey, and I'll have to wear my Mountain Land Supply Company jacket, my hoodie that I got a couple weeks ago. I have to wear that for Friday's game. Speaking of jackets, I was able to get a jacket from the Grizzlies team store earlier today. I decided I wanted to wear it, but I also decided it was a little bit too warm here in the studio, so I decided to not wear it. Maybe I'll wear that later on this weekend, as I really like my jacket. It's a black jacket with a little bit of professional green mixed in. And what is professional green, you might ask? I think it's kind of a forest green. You know, it's kind of a darker shade of green, which is usually what the Grizzlies wear. Face-off, I believe, is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. We're tied at 1. Allen has outshot Utah 9-6 in the second period. For the game, Allen 17 shots to Utah's 16. Tyler Penner leads Utah with 4 shots. We're back to live action as Allen wins the face-off, and I am watching the same feed that the fans at home are watching on Flow Sports. Utah back deep in their own zone has it as they'll nudge it ahead. And we apologize if you're listening on YouTube, as some of the details might be a little bit blurry here. I'll get my eyes checked tomorrow, though, as the Americans will skate towards the near side. Nilsson will dump the Allen skater. Grizzlies will backhand it out to center ice. Dakota Raby with good speed will skate towards his right. He'll nudge it ahead as it bounced off the stick of Cutler, as the Americans will skate into the offensive zone 2-on-2. Allen looking for a toe drag. Nilsson cuts him off. Now Nilsson throws down the Allen skater towards the ice. Jack Combs keeps it in the right side. He'll skate towards his left as Raby back checking. And Raby takes it away as he'll nudge it ahead to Pfizer. Terran's got a 3-on-3 as he'll throw it off the boards for Cutler on the near side. Left wing, Cutler with a shot net. Kick saved by Parasini as the Americans will get it over to the left corner. And Utah takes it away. Pfizer will skate towards the right side. Allen very active with their sticks. The puck ends up in the right circle. Battling's Cameron Wright. Grizzlies keep it in. Walker tried to drop it off. Allen picked it off, and they'll clear it to center ice. Taken by Pouncey, who dumps it in as it rolls along the right wing. Now Walker fires towards the net, and it got blocked about halfway to Parasini as the Americans will ice the puck. No call on the play as Utah runs it down deep in their own zone. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the second period as the Americans on. Now we got a push on Johnny Walker. It looked like an American wanted to get at Johnny Walker. And who was that? The number is being blocked by the linesman, so we couldn't see who it is. Looked like it's number 29, Nicholas Blackman. Blackman pushed Johnny Walker, and it looks like Blackman's going to go to the penalty box. As Blackman, both palms in the air, as he's arguing with the referee, but is also doing a little bit of arguing with Johnny Walker. So Blackman will go to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell, as he's got 12 penalty minutes through 3 games this season, 6'4", 194 pounds. So Blackman is in for the Americans. We don't see if anybody is in for Utah. Looks like it's going to be a 2-minute power play as Blackman just threw down Johnny Walker at neutral ice. And the Worm comes through again, drawing a power play for Utah. And we'll see if Johnny, who had 2 goals on Saturday night, if he comes through on the power play for Utah. Watch out for him in front of the net. But he's actually not on the ice. The Grizzlies going with their other power play unit. Off the draw, Pfizer with a shot that goes wide. Now the Grizz in the right point. Keep it in. Raby feeds it to the corner as Allen collides. They get pinned over there, and the Americans will clear it out. So Blackman gets 2 minutes. I imagine it's for roughing, even though we didn't get to see the official signal. Grizzlies skate from right to left. 7.5 minutes left in the second period. Utah gets over to Sekos on the left side. He'll feed it to the right. Pfizer skates towards the circle with speed. Stops at the goal line on the far side. Gets over to Raby. Back to Pfizer. Terran near the boards. As he'll skate towards the corner. He'll tap it off the wall. Sekos gets it to the left side. Feeds it back to Pfizer. Terran. Right circle. And he'll take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Looked like Dylan Fitz was net front, but Parasini made a quick glove save. And he holds on. 7:02 left in the second period. 109 on the power play. As Utah will make a full line change, they'll get Johnny Walker on the ice. And watch out for him in front of the net. Allen also gets 4 fresh skaters out there in game 1 of the 3-game set. Looks like a late arriving crowd over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. As Cameron Wright will take the draw. And it's won by Allen. And they'll carry it out to center ice. 2-on-2. Americans step over the offensive line as Pachero will throw it to the corner for Combs. Back to Pachero. He'll feed it back around the wall as Wright gets on the near side. He'll feed it across. Utah skates from right to left as Nilsson over to the corner, turns it over, and the puck ends up towards the slot. Utah picks it off, and they'll get it out to center ice. Near the Allen bench area, Utah back in their own zone. Less than 40 seconds left in the power play as Utah will skate towards their left. Grizz cross center ice. They'll feed a right wing pass and enter the offensive zone. Utah gets over to the left side as Cameron Wright skates along the goal line, takes a shot, saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to Utah. They try to get it back to Wright, and Allen nudges it back to the Grizzlies zone. Well, very active sticks for the Allen Americans, who look like they played a pretty disciplined defensive game. You have to like what you've seen from Allen on both sides of the puck, because they've been pretty impressive here so far. Grizzlies to the left side, step over the offensive line again. Jamison drops it off for Cutler. So he gets blasted in the corner, and that does it for the the Grizzlies power play as Blackman's out of the penalty box. Allen steps over the offensive line as Ryan Gagnon will feed the middle, goes back to Gagnon, but it exits the zone. Allen at center ice dumps it back in, on to Metcalf. Garrett keeps it in play, so he'll give way to Kyle Pouncey. 5.5 minutes left in the second period. And we're tied at 1. Neither team has scored in the second so far, as goals have been at a premium. Good defense and good goaltending on both sides. As Utah crosses center ice, they'll chip it in. Jamison runs after it. Ryan Gagnon around the net. He played at the University of Calgary and was a college teammate of James Shearer. Jamison holds up Gagnon, and he'll feed it along the near side. Martin in the offensive zone gets it to Jamison, back up top for Penner. Tyler with a shot that goes wide. As he trying to go glove side on Parasini. Allen lifted over the head of Martin. And Utah, 2-on-1, will race down, but Allen gets there first. They feed the middle, but good job by Bryson Martin forcing Jack Combs to redirect himself. Combs around the net with the puck as he'll skate towards the near corner. Combs will feed it up top. And Sosserman, right point, shot saved by Metcalf, and he holds on. Boy, for a second, it looked like Garrett was bobbling it, but he holds on and makes the save. 4:41 is left in the second period. And we're tied at 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
We're tied at 1. 4:41 is left in the second period. Neither side hey, I know that guy. It looks like they're honoring a veteran at the game. I don't know if they're honoring the guy that works the penalty box area, but one of the things I miss about not going to the road venues is meeting some of the, not being able to meet some of the people, like the Allen off-ice officials. They're pretty cool. It looks like we're meeting some of the Allen American fans in attendance on Flow Sports, and certainly disappointing not to see Tommy Daniels this week. Tommy, the voice of the Allen Americans. Shots have been pretty even throughout. In fact, Allen has 20 shots, Utah with 19. Allen has outshot Utah 12-9 in the second period. Tyler Penner leads Utah with 5 shots. Brandon Cutler with 3. Taryn Pfizer and Andrew Nilsson each have 2. Draw's going to be in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. Garrett Metcalf has stopped 19 of 20. Luke Parasini of Allen has stopped 18 of 19. Allen wins the draw. Sossaman around the boards. Utah cuts it off as Nilsson will carry it out to center ice. The reigning league player of the week gets over to Sekos. Sekos to the right side, drops it off, and a shot is blocked. I think that was taken by Cameron Wright. As the Americans out to center ice, picked off by McDonald. Connor dumps it back in, taken by Ryan Gagnon as he gets pushed along the right wing near the corner. 4:15 left in the second. Puck deep in the Allen zone as the Americans will skate around their net. And Allen with an outlet pass that stays in the American zone. Good job by Dakota Raby and company. Puck ends up back in the corner. Now towards the slot. Raby skates back towards the corners. He's being shadowed. Now the Grizz feed it up top for Bryson Martin. He'll skate towards his right. Now he's at the point, and he'll dump it around the wall behind the net. Right skates towards the right corner. He gets hit, but keeps the puck. And now Allen takes it away from him as the Americans will clear it out to center ice. They have the puck 2-on-2. Allen skates towards the left circle, stops, but Cheryl tries to feed it out in front. And Utah is able to pick it off as it bounces off the end wall. Now the Grizz have it skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. As Martin dumps it in, Pfizer chasing after it. But icing is called, and Pfizer pleads his case as he thinks at the very least icing should be waved off. But Lord Anthony Grissom got there first to get the icing called. Now it looks like the linesmen are talking it over, and the referee's going to join. I imagine if they come to the conclusion that icing shouldn't have been called, faceoff's going to be at center ice. 3:28 is left in the second period. We'll go over all the scores from around the world of sports during the second intermission. And we'll introduce you to Kiki Crum, who will be sitting in the chair that Monty's guests usually sit in the morning. You can catch that show on YouTube at The Monty Show. And we'll catch up with Monty during Grizzlies home games this season. And where's the face-off? That's the big question. Is it going to be in the Grizzlies zone, or is it going to be at center ice? It's going to be in the Grizzlies zone, so icing is called on Utah. And the draw won by the Grizzlies. As Utah feeds it out to center ice, it's gloved and dropped by Allen. They dump it back in. McDonald gets it for Utah. He'll spin it back around towards the near side. Now Allen takes it. Somehow it ended up in the slot. Americans drop it off. Slot, righty shot, and a score as the Americans fired away. That was Nick Albano towards the net, and he points towards Jack Combs as if it got redirected. Looks like Zach Pachiro is going to be the one skating to the bench first, so it looks like Pachiro redirected the Nick Albano shot, and it goes past Garrett Metcalf, and the Americans with 3:09 left in the second period have taken a 2-1 lead. Yeah, it looked like one of your classic Albano was up top, fired a shot, and Pachiro was somehow able to redirect it. That's Pachiro's third goal of the season, and for Nick Albano, he'll get his third assist. Pachiro led the Allen Americans with 34 goals back in the 2018-2019 season. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Fort Wayne Comets. In fact, he was part of the Comets' 2021 Kelly Cup Championship team. So it's possible maybe the referee, who's still, I guess, at the scores table, are they going to get a second look at it to see if it was played with a high stick maybe? As at center ice, everybody's waiting for a puck. And it looks like they might be, it looks like they've counted it as a good goal. Not sure what the delay was for, but it's Allen 2 and Utah 1. As the Americans score first during the second period, they lead by 1. As the draw, Utah gets knocked down at center ice, and it's Johnny Walker. Somebody's going after Walker. And it looks like it's Blackman for the second time here in the second period. Nico Blackman has taken offense to Johnny Walker. Walker drew a penalty, and now Blackman, he wants to get after Walker as Walker is on the ice, and Blackman trying to get a piece of him as both linesmen are trying to make sure that Blackman doesn't get another shot in on Johnny. So I don't know what Johnny Walker did to Nico Blackman, but for the second time there in the second period, Blackman took a shot at him. Blackman's going to the penalty box. He pleads his case with one of the linesmen. Michael Miggins and Daniel Barnes are the two linesmen. And Blackman, for the second time in this second period, is going to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Like Walker is at center ice, not that long after the puck was dropped for the center ice faceoff, and then Blackman just threw Walker down. So it's going to be a power play for the Grizzlies. It's going to be a 4-minute power play. As Blackman, who had a roughing minor, 12:06 in, looks like he's got 4 minutes worth of penalties here with 3:02 left in the second. So a golden opportunity for the Grizzlies late in the second period to tie up the game. Well, it's been an interesting one so far. These same teams will meet on Friday and Saturday night over in Allen. Utah so far is 3-2 on the road trip. Grizz will be at home, starting with a 6-game homestand on Thursday, November 17th against the first place Idaho Steelheads. Idaho is 6-1 on the season, but they trail Rapid City a late first period. We'll give you an update on that score during the second intermission. So 4 minutes are on the score bug for Nico Blackman. Could it be a double minor for roughing? We'll see when the stats page updates and has the Blackman penalty as to what he did. Nevertheless, the Grizzlies are on the power play for 4 minutes as Nilsson gets it on the right side. Utah won the faceoff. Grizz fire towards the middle. Pfizer with a shot, save, and Allen clears it out. Nilsson races after it. He'll get it from Metcalf as Nilsson around the net. As Andrew will quarterback this power play. He's got 7 power play assists this season. He'll drop it off for Cutler. Brandon gains the offensive line, drops off for Walker. Back to Nilsson. Nilsson tries to get it to Cutler. Allen picks it off. The Americans will carry it out towards neutral ice. Now they'll sail it down towards the left corner as it rolls around the boards. Metcalf will cut it off and get it to Nilsson. 2:20 left in the second period. 3:17 left in a Grizzlies power play as Utah skates into the right side. Right drops it off to the point. Pass goes wide of the mark. Allen has a 2-on-2. They'll throw it ahead. Americans skate towards the left side. Takes a shot blocked by Klerman as the Americans get pinned along the corner and double-teamed. Jack Combs will feed it out to center ice. Nobody was at the point there as Allen back at neutral ice will nudge it ahead. Back towards Metcalf as Garrett behind his net will play the puck. Less than 2 minutes left in the second period as Andrew Nilsson back behind his net as the Grizzlies are in the middle of a line change as Nilsson will give it towards Taron Pfizer. Pfizer gets the puck. He'll throw a right wing pass as Utah crosses center ice. Raby dumps it in. Parasini behind his net will bounce it off of Raby. Utah gets it up top for Zach Sekos in their left point. Sekos will skate towards the left circle. Tries to get it across. Pfizer with a shot that goes wide on a one-timer. Sekos over to Martin. Bryson, the left point, over to Sekos near the boards. Back towards Martin. Martin skates towards the left circle, switches places with Sekos. Martin gets it back to Sekos. He feeds it across to Pfizer. Pfizer on the right side takes a shot. Saved by Parasini. And he holds on with 1:08 left in the second period. Pfizer already has 1 goal tonight, and it was a pretty good play design, getting 2 guys on the left side, feeding it across to Pfizer. And Taron was all alone on the right. That's exactly what you want. And Parasini was able to make the stop. I got to say, if you're a neutral observer, you have to be impressed with Luke Parasini, the Allen goaltender. As not only has he stopped all but one tonight, but he's done a pretty good job not allowing a second look. There's not many rebounds off of him as he has stopped 19 of 20 here so far. So Blackman got a cross-checking minor and a roughing minor. So 2 separate minor penalties for Blackman. Time of penalties, 16:58. As off the draw, Utah wins the face-off. They're in the offensive zone on the power play. We're halfway through the 4-minute power play. Right point, Nilsson with a shot saved by Parasini. Puck ends up in the left corner. Now Allen will get it ahead to Jack Combs, who will clear it out to center ice. Puck bounced off the stick of Bryson Martin. He gets it with less than 1 minute left in the second period. He'll drop it off as Utah crosses center ice. Utah skates down the middle. Pfizer veers off to the right, spins it back around to the left side for Sekos. He tried to get to Martin in the corner, and Allen gets it and clears it out. Foot race towards the far corner. Allen battling. Jack Combs gets there. He'll skate back towards his point and to center ice. Combs now in Allen territory as he'll skate towards Luke Parasini. Now he'll give it to Colton Hargrove as the Americans playing a little bit of keep away here in the final 20 seconds of the second period. Allen at center ice. Utah battling near the bench area. Less than 10 seconds left in the second. Allen comes up with a puck. Now they'll sell it towards Metcalf. 2 seconds left. Metcalf stays in front of his net as time runs out on the Grizzlies. As after the whistle, Jackson Leopard with one final shot on Andrew Nelson. So that does it for 40 minutes of play. Score was tied at 1 after one period. The only score of the second period, Nick Albano fired a shot from the high slot that was redirected by Zach Pachiro. Pachiro gets his third goal of the year. Albano and Jack Combs with the assists. Utah has 58 seconds left on a power play. As Nico Blackman got a cross-checking minor and a roughing minor on the same play. In fact, Blackman had 6 minutes worth of penalties in the second period. So Allen is up by 1, and we'll recap the first 2 periods of play. And we'll also talk with Kiki Crum, who will be writing the post-game story at UtahGrizzlies.com, and I guess we'll get her life story. And obviously, she's a big hockey fan. And we'll talk about her hockey fandom when we come back. Once again, after 2 periods, it's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies 1. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Second intermission over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center over in Allen, Texas. The Americans lead the Grizzlies 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting. Score is tied at 1 after one period. Anthony Durham got the Americans on the board, 5:16 in, with Marcel Godbout getting the assist. Less than 2 minutes later, Taryn Pfizer found the back of the net, 7:06 into the first period. Nate Klerman and Dakota Raby with the assist. It was tied at 1 after one period. Utah outshot Allen 10-8. In the second period, Allen outshot Utah 13-10 as the Americans through 2 periods lead the shot count 21-20. Only goal in the second period, Zach Pachiro redirected a Nick Albano shot. Albano and Jack Combs with the assist. For Albano, it's his 3rd assist, and this is 6th game of the season. For Combs, he gets his 4th assist, and this also his 6th game of the year. Zach Pachiro had 34 goals to lead the Americans in the 2018-2019 season, and he's got 3 goals here so far this year. It's been a good goaltending matchup. If you think about Allen pretty much had a breakaway for their goal in the first period, and Pachiro redirected the shot in the second. So, really Allen earned their 2 goals as Garrett Metcalf has stopped 19 of 21. Luke Parasini has stopped 19 of 20. And we've been talking about him all game as Parasini's done a really good job controlling his rebounds. He's shown a quick glove, and he was Allen's most reliable goaltender last year, and it looks like that continues here this season. Even though he's 1-2 with an .882 save percentage coming into play tonight, he's been solid in net for the Americans. So we'll see what happens in the third as Allen has a 1-goal lead. First intermission over at the Monument. Rapid City leads Idaho 1-0. It's been a tough stretch for Rapid City to start the year. They have a record of 2-5-1, or they're just 2-5 through 7 games, while Idaho is 6-1. Alex Aliardi scored unassisted 7:21 into the contest. Rapid City outshot Idaho 13-10 in the first period. We're through 1 over at the Monument. Rapid City 1, Idaho 0. Earlier today, a game played this morning, Wheeling defeated Toledo 4-3. That game ended in a shootout. Wheeling goes to 3-4 on the season. Toledo falls to 3-2, 0-1. Former Grizzly Cedric Pare had one of the goals for the Nailers this morning. 4 games in the NHL tonight. Let's take a look at those scores. One game has gone final. Florida defeats Carolina 3-0. Just starting out the third period, Montreal leads Vancouver 4-0. And with 13 minutes left in the third period, Pittsburgh leads Washington 3-0. In about 20 minutes, Minnesota will be at Anaheim. We're going to talk with Kiki, although I'd now figured out something about where am I going to get this Flow Sports microphone over towards Kiki. We'll figure it out during the break, and we'll talk with Kiki, and we'll also talk with Guy to figure out what the Grizzlies need to do to come back in this one in the third period as Allen leads 2-1 after 40 minutes. And we'll talk with Kiki and Guy coming up next as it's the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report right here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission, Allen leads 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting. We got Kiki Crum in Guy's seat. So I try to figure out what we're going to do with the Flow Sports mic. Kiki will be writing the post-game story at UtahGrizzlies.com. And Kiki, how have things been?
Good. It's really fun to be here. I grew up playing hockey in Utah, so it's awesome that I'm able to work with the Utah Grizzlies. I played for the Junior Grizzlies when I was 12 to 17, and I was a Grizz girl a couple years ago. Grizz girls were like a promo team for the Utah Grizzlies, so it's been fun to be back.
Now, what kind of a hockey player were you? Were you an enforcer? Were you a goal scorer? Were you somebody that would get out in front of the net? What were you like as a hockey player?
I was the only girl on my team, so I wouldn't say I was an enforcer. I definitely was always in front of the net, right, and just tried to play where I could without getting hurt.
It's been tough having all these road games, but what have you thought about the Grizzlies so far? 4-3 on the season. They're off to a 3-2 start this road trip, and they've had some pretty good performances. Andrew Nelson last Saturday, but overall, what have you thought about the Grizzlies here so far this season?
Yeah, I'm excited for this season. I think we have some really good guys. Taryn Fizer, I'm really impressed with. Garrett Metcalf, I think, is great in net as well. And I think our defense is awesome. We've got some big guys who just know how to play the puck, and I'm really excited for this season.
We'll catch your post-game story at UtahGrizzlies.com. Any fun things included in the post-game story? I'm hoping a Grizzlies victory out of it.
Yes, I'm hoping to add that too.
That's Kiki Crum. We'll talk with him, or we'll talk with her throughout the season. I've had a tough time with the English language. What can I say? This camera feed in Allen has kind of thrown me for a loop. Thanks for the time, Kiki.
Thank you, Tyson.
That's Kiki Crum. We'll switch places and talk with Guy here shortly on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. And we'll talk with Guy as we're through 2 periods. And it looks like the Grizzlies, they'll be on the power play the first 58 seconds of the second period. Or, you know how it is. The thing with this remote feed is it's kind of gotten me thrown for a loop. As, sometimes you see the action pretty well. Sometimes you don't. But, we're just having some fun here on a Wednesday night. 6th of an 8-game road trip. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some live hockey in the arena next week. And we got a big-time series between the Grizzlies and Idaho Steelheads. And we got some fun nights planned for the next homestand. Remember, it's a rare Thursday home game for the Grizzlies next week. And that begins the 6-game homestand as the Idaho Steelheads will be in town. Idaho is trailing 1-0 after 1 period to the Rapid City Rush. But Idaho is off to a 6-1 record this season. The one loss for the Steelheads came at the hands of the Grizzlies. That was Utah's 3rd game of the regular season and first of this 8-game road trip. And then Idaho shut out Utah 4-0. And really, when you think about, the offensive production for Utah, those last 2 games in Kansas City, winning 4-3 last Friday and then 7-3 last Saturday. You're hoping to carry that forward into tonight. I think the Grizzlies have done some good things offensively, but Allen, for the most part, if you're talking about who's dictating the pace of this game, kind of looks like Allen is kind of dictating the terms a little bit towards their side. And you know that they don't want to turn it into a run and gun type of game because that probably favors the Grizzlies. And I think Allen's done a pretty good job neutralizing the Grizzlies' speed through the first 40 minutes of play. But we talked about, next Thursday, the series opener. How about Pooch on the Pond? The annual Pooch on the Pond. It's been going on for as long as I can remember. That's where you can bring your dog to the game, sit in a special section. Now, you do need to get a ticket for your dog. So it's like if it's you and your dog, 2 tickets, one for you and one for your dog. And I think the sections are going to be a little bit more towards where the old video board was. Hopefully next week we'll have the big video board at center ice all ready to go, and that thing looks like a beauty. That's going to be a game changer in terms of fan entertainment at Maverick Center. A lot of fun stuff is going on in and around the arena. And don't forget, both teams will be off on that Saturday, and then Sunday, November 20th is going to be the series finale. But do note, this season, Sunday games, which we're at 1:10 in previous years, this season, Sunday games are going to start at 3:10. And then the following week, the Trois Rivières Lions will be in for 3 games in 3 days. I think that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, beginning with Black Friday. Don't forget the Grizzlies' second annual Pride Night is going to be in the second game of that series as they'll take on the Lions a couple Saturdays from now. Now we'll talk with Guy Krenzik here and we're at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies are over at Texas Credit Union of something arena.
Texas.
Yeah.
Credit Union, Texas.
They're about half hour away from Dallas. And, Guy, only 1 goal scored in that second period. It was a redirection. So if you think about it, Allen's 2 goals. One was on pretty much a breakaway from the offensive blue line in by Durham and a redirection. Other than that, I think Garrett's played a pretty good game.
Yeah, Tyson, I like the game that Garrett Metcalf has had. Both of those goals I feel like weren't really either of his fault. Just a tough break. And it seems like Allen has had their way in this game. They've shut down the Grizzlies. They've neutralized their speed. They've done a really good job of just containing all of the Grizzlies players and not letting them get a lot of good cracks at the net. And I'm also kind of disappointed in the power play so far. I mean, Grizzlies are 0 for 4 to this point. I believe they're in the middle of a power play going into the next period. But just a little bit disappointing considering how good of a game they had in their last outing in Kansas City. Let's see if they can get on the board here to start the third.
Not to take away, and it's not like I really know the strategy being here in the Salt Lake Valley of what the Grizzlies want to do on the power play. It is a little bit different without Ben Tardif. And if you joined us late, Ben was called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier today. And so I think Utah is going to have to make some adjustments without him on the power play. It almost looked like the adjustment Utah made was overload the left side, kick it out to the right side, and get an open Taryn Fizer. We saw what he was able to do in the first period when he was all alone, as he had Utah's lone, he's got Utah's lone goal so far. But you take a guy like Fizer, 6 goals already, and this Utah's 8th game, isolate him on the right side, see if we can get him an open look. Fizer on a couple of occasions was able to get that open look, but just hasn't converted on the power play so far.
Yeah, Fizer's got a great shot, and they should be finding him. I mean, utilize your strengths. Taryn Fizer's got a great shot. Get it to him. Andrew Nielsen's got a great shot. Get it to him. The power play looks good. The movement looks all right. The shots are there. They just haven't really caught that break yet. But Taryn Fizer's been really great. And it's, like you said, that next man up mentality with Ben Tardif gone. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment to make. But I think Taryn Fizer should fit in quite nicely as him and Ben Tardif play similar styles of games. I feel like they both got a really good shot, and they're both very quick.
I don't know what Johnny Walker did to Nico Blackman, but Blackman picked up 6 minutes worth of penalties. And I think it was all on Walker. He pushed Walker near the bench area earlier in the second period. And then right after the faceoff, after Allen scored to make it 2-1, Blackman goes after Walker, gets a cross check and a rough. And before you know it, the Grizzlies have 4 minutes worth of a power play. I don't know. It just seems like every game somebody wants to get after Johnny Walker. The Worm does it again tonight.
Oh, you gotta love Johnny Walker, man. This guy is an expert at drawing penalties, and he does it yet again in this game. if Johnny's not scoring, he might as well be drawing penalties, and that's what he's done, giving the Grizzlies a great opportunity here on the power play. But that's an interesting thing to watch, especially being the first game of a 3-game series against Allen. How will this saga between Blackman and Walker play out throughout the course of the series? It'll be interesting to watch and see.
Yeah, the two big rivalries tonight, Johnny Walker and Nico Blackman, and me versus the English language. It's been quite a rivalry here so far tonight. Now, if Utah is able to come back in this game, who do you think is going to be the hero?
It's got to be one of those role players. My pick to click was Dakota Raby. He's got an assist already tonight. That's my guy.
I think I went with Zach Sekos before the game, and I could see him, getting something. He had 2 goals on Saturday. He's one of those guys that does a great job creating his own shot. I could see him breaking free on the left side and getting to the circle and finding a way to get past Luke Parasini, who, by the way, has played pretty well. I mean, we talk about how well Metcalf has played, but Parasini has not allowed many rebounds out in front. And so it's almost like if you don't score on that first look, you're not going to score because he's not giving Utah many second chances.
Yeah, Parasini's been really good. He's not allowing a lot of rebounds. So if you're the Grizzlies, you got to be moving the puck a little bit, get him moving left to right, see if you can get him out of position, or maybe get a deflection in front, get a puck in, tip in, anything that you can. Get some puck luck going your way because just your regular old shot isn't going to cut it.
Thanks for the time, Guy. We'll talk to you during the postgame report.
All right, thank you, Tyson.
That's Guy Carenza. We'll also talk with Kiki during the postgame report as she'll still be around, and we'll also catch her story at UtahGrizzlies.com, and hopefully the story of the game will be a happy victory in Game 1 of the 3-game set as Utah is currently 3-2 on the road trip. But remember, the Grizzlies last week lost the series opener 8 days ago to the Kansas City Mavericks and then ended up winning 2 in a row to take that series. When we come back, we'll have third period action. Once again, the score heading into the third period, the Allen Americans 2 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. Utah will be on the power play the first 58 seconds of the third period. This has been the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. It's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies 1. We'll head to the third period here shortly. Hey, the Utah Jazz get another victory. They go to 10-3 on the season. They defeat the Atlanta Hawks 125-119. Are the Jazz tanking? Well, if they are, they're doing a really, really bad job of it as they have the best record in the Western Conference, and it's amazing what they've been able to do this season. Jazz get another victory, 125-119 on the road against the Atlanta Hawks. Some other NBA games that have gone final. Magic defeat the Mavericks 94-87. Nuggets over the Pacers 122-119. Trailblazers defeat the Hornets 105-95. Early fourth quarter, Memphis leads San Antonio 98-96. Fourth quarter, Milwaukee leads Oklahoma City 94-92. After 3 quarters, Suns lead the Timberwolves 102-82. And after 3, the Bulls lead the Pelicans 82-79. 4 NHL games. We mentioned them earlier in the intermission. Both teams are walking on the ice to start the third period. Allen wearing the white jerseys tonight with red on the sleeves, red on the shoulders, white numbers, and white lettering on the back. One game's already gone final. Florida shuts out Carolina 3-0. Halfway through the third period, Montreal leads Vancouver 4-1. Late third period, 6:22 left on TNT. Penguins lead the Capitals 3-1. And the second game of the TNT doubleheader, Minnesota is at Anaheim. Minnesota is 5-6-1 on the season. Anaheim is 4-8-1. I mentioned the upcoming homestand for the Grizzlies, and that's going to be highlighted by Pooch on the Pond on Friday, November 18th. And the Grizzlies' second annual Pride Night is going to be in the series against the Trois Rivières Lions. And I wonder if the Grizzlies are going to wear any specialty jerseys for the occasion. I remember last year the Grizzlies wore a nice-looking specialty jersey for the first ever Pride Night. and we'll see what happens here on the next homestand, as Pride Night is going to be on Saturday, November 26th, presented by FedEx, as we obviously offer our support for the LGBTQ plus community, as looks like we're about set for third period action. Grizzlies are looking for a third period comeback as they trail 2-1 to the Allen Americans. Shots have been pretty even. Allen, 21 shots to Utah's 20, and really the game has been pretty even, with the deciding factor obviously being that tip-in from Nick Albano's shot that Zach Pachiro converted. Pachiro getting his third of the year. As the draw won by Utah's, we're back to live action. Grizz skate from left to right here in the third. They're on the power play for the next 50 seconds. Nielsen gets it ahead to right as the Grizz skate in, pass to Brandon Cutler. He dumps into the right corner. Pfizer races after it. He's got it in the corner. Pfizer has Utah's lone goal tonight. Pfizer battling as he skates back towards the point. Taryn feeds their cross, but it's picked off by Allen. They'll cross center ice, and Colton Hargrove will dump it into the corner. Jackson Leopard over there as well. Those guys have been line mates all night long. Utah has it back as Leopard got back checked, and Utah 20 seconds left in the power play, still in their own zone. Sekos will back it out towards Metcalf. Now he'll skate down the middle. Sekos will cross center ice. Now he'll skate in past Cameron Wright. He'll feed it to the left side as the Grizz get it across to Pfizer. Turn with a shot. Saved by, it got blocked. Blocked by Gagnon before it got to Parasini. Allen clears it out. Boy, if Gagnon didn't get a piece of that one, that could have been Pfizer's second of the game. Out of the penalty box is Allen as Nico Blackman joins the play. Grizz dump it in. Right over in the right corner, along with Dylan Fitz. Fitz spins it around. Back to turnover to the left side. Wright gets it taken away. Allen's been very active with deflections and interceptions as the Americans enter the zone, but they're offside. 18:41's left in the third. Allen leads 2-1, and, we talked about the defensive effort by the Grizzlies, having been pretty strong through 40 minutes. Allen this season has allowed 2.6 goals per game. I know it's a very small sample size, but one of the things that Allen has done a pretty good job of here through 5 games is not allowing many shots. In fact, through the first 5 games this season, Allen has just allowed 24 shots per game. So they've done a good job possessing the puck. It seems like puck possession is something that Chad Costello values in his system as first year with the Allen Americans. As the Grizzlies skate into the offensive zone, centering pass, shot. Saved by Parasini as Fitz found Penner out in front. Now to the left point. Grizzlies will bounce it off the boards. Fitz to the right side. Skates towards the circle. He keeps the puck. He'll whip it around the boards past Penner onto the left side. Grizz get it back to Cam Strong. Left point shot. That one goes wide as it got redirected off a stick. Penner off the goal line. Off the boards near the goal line. Around Fitz. Allen will battle on the far side. Puck still in the American zone. Now Allen will clear it out to center. Utah re-enters as Nate Klerman skates towards the right corner. Klerman back up top for Martin. Right point. He'll take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound shot. And that one goes wide. Utah got knocked down as they were taking the shot. Grizz in the left point. Feed it across to Klerman. Nate gets it to the right goal line. Allen poked it back to center ice. Good job by the Americans clearing it out. Grizzlies will reset. Pfizer on the right side. He'll dump it in as he gets around Nick Albano. And the puck ends up back towards the near wall. And Utah has it on the right side. McDonald with a shot. That one gets blocked. Allen will clear it out. So they'll throw it to their offensive blue line. Americans skate in towards the left side and around the net. As Allen looked to center it, hit the side of the net. Pfizer over in the corner being shadowed by Jack Combs. Now he'll skate north-south. Pfizer will bounce it off the near wall at center ice. Raby skates over there and dumps it in. Parasini behind his net, so he'll feed it towards the near side as Hank Combs, number 67 for Allen. He'll nudge it ahead towards center ice. It goes past Dalton Skelly. Grizzlies, I imagine, have it off the screen, and they do. This way, camera operator, as Utah skating from left to right. Gets it over to McDonald. He'll cross center ice and dump it in. As it bounces off the end wall onto Parasini, and the Allen goaltender covers up. 16:37's left in the third. Utah will have an offensive zone draw. So the Grizz are 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. They are 7 for 39 on the season. You almost have that feeling that the next team that scores wins. that's that type of game. Whether Allen takes a 3-1 lead and gets some insurance, or the Grizzlies find a way to tie it up. On Twitter, it sounded like I thought Grisby and the Allen mascot, Biscuit, I thought they were friends. Apparently not. They're not as close as I had originally thought they were, according to Grisby on Twitter. As Utah back in their own zone, Connor McDonald will skeet around his net. Now feed it to the far side. Did Allen keep it into the zone? Looks like they did, but it's Utah with the puck as McDonald on the near side. As he'll feed it across off the boards for Martin. Bryson will outlet it out to center ice. Now Utah to the left circle has the puck. Shot saved by Parasini. Grizzlies feed it out to the slot. Allen pokes it away. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell who took that shot. It looked like it was Dylan Fitz. As Allen crosses center ice, he'll skate into the left side as the Americans. Jared Bethune around the boards. They skate around the net. Now they feed it out in front. Allen couldn't get a shot off as it rolls towards the left point. Skelly with a shot. Metcalf makes the save, and it goes to the left corner. As Allen back at the near goal line, being shadowed by Klerman. They skate around the net. Now Allen to the right side, tries to feed it out in front. They lost it. Grizzlies 3-on-3. They cross center ice. Dylan Fitz dumps it in. And we get a penalty as Fitz collided with an Allen skater who was entering the play. It's a delayed penalty, and it looks like it's going to be on Allen. Or maybe. The whistle blew when Metcalf touched it up. 15:23 is left in the third. Who's the penalty on? As Fitz was battling with Allen near the bench area, and it looked like an Allen player was just coming on, collided with Fitz. Looks like Fitz is going to get the penalty. So Fitz is going to go in for 2 minutes. Boy, hard to say what he did without looking at a replay, but it looks like the Americans are going to go back on the power play for the third time tonight. Couldn't see the official signal on what Fitz did, but it looks like that collision out near the Allen bench drew the Americans a power play. Well, the only thing I could guess is Fitz was trying to dump the puck in, at the time of the collision, if maybe he got Allen with the high stick. Hard to say, but the Americans are on the power play as action's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Colton Hargrove is taking the face-off as the draw won by the Americans. Up top, Colton Sosserman skates towards his right. Gets it over to Hank Crone. Crone to the right side, feeds it to the corner for Hargrove. He tried to throw it behind the net. Utah picked it off. And the Grizz will carry it out to center ice. 2-on-3. Utah to the left side as Sekos. Toe drag, slot, shot. That goes wide. Nice backhand attempt by Sekos. Wright was out in front of the net as well. 25 seconds into the power play. Allen will throw it over to the right. Hargrove will get it to Combs. He skates around the net. Feeds over to the left side. Now back up top. Sosserman over to the right circle. One-timer saved by Metcalf. That shot was taken by Hargrove. The puck ends up back with him. He tries to get it up top for Sosserman. It goes over his head onto Parasini. Grizzlies will get 4 new skaters on the ice. Well, I thought the penalty was on Fitz, but it looks like, according to the score bug, it's Cam Strong in the penalty box for Utah. As Allen crosses center ice, they lose the puck. Grizzlies skate towards the Allen bench area, and Grizz end up dumping it in. Sekos out there along with Pfizer, and Sekos got it taken away. Allen skates from right to left. Americans cross center ice, right wing. As Allen feeds over to the left side. Lefty shot saved by Metcalf, and he holds on. That shot was taken by Jackson Leopard, who had plenty of room in the left circle after getting a pass from the right side. But Garrett makes the stop, and outside of a breakaway from the offensive blue line in and a redirection. Hey, Garrett's done an outstanding job, and really you can't blame Garrett on either of those Allen goals. There were goals that were earned by the Americans, and Allen's taken a couple good looks here early in the third period, and Garrett for the third straight game has looked strong. Grizzlies have 5 shots here so far in the third. Allen has taken 2. Strong's the one in the penalty box. He got a holding minor, 4:37 in. There's 44 seconds left in the Allen power play. It's their third power play of the game. Americans win the faceoff. Chris Mallory, the former Grizzly. He'll skate towards his right. He'll feed it to the right side. Allen skates towards the right circle, tries to get it out in front. Allen couldn't convert out in the crease area. Grizzlies spin it along the near wall, kept in by Allen. Americans get it over to Mallory, the former Penn State product. He'll skate towards the corner. Now to the near goal line. Tried to kick it out in front. Picked off by Penner, and Tyler clears it out. 15 seconds left in the Allen power play. Good job by the Grizzlies. Penalty kill. It's still 2-1 Americans. Hargrove crosses center ice left wing. He'll skate towards the circle, gets around Martin. Hargrove, toe drag, shot. And I don't know how Garrett made that save as the Grizzlies clear it out. Boy, what a job by Metcalf as Hargrove made a nice move from the left side, and somehow the puck didn't end up going in. Americans at neutralize are back to 5-on-5 skating. Johnny Walker nudges it ahead. Allen will poke it back as they'll dump it into the Grizzlies zone. It got redirected, so no icing. As Metcalf spins it along the far side. I'd like to see a replay on that to see what exactly Garrett did. Allen skates back to their goal line. Now they're behind their net. Sekos challenging as Sekos knocks down an American skater. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Walker on the right side takes a shot. That gets blocked. And Al Allen in the right corner will clear it out to center ice. Americans have it. Hank Chrome skates towards his right. Just outside the circle. Take a shot. And that one goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Metcalf. Grizzlies clear it out. Is it going to be icing? It is. Icing on the Grizzlies. 12:31 left in the third. That'd be awesome if we saw a replay on that one where Metcalf looked like he either made the save or maybe the guy missed the net. It's hard to say from our angle, but what a stop by Garrett. And after the whistle, a little bit of pushing and shoving between Zach Pachiro and Cameron Wright. It's the first of a three-game series. These teams will meet Friday night. 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off, and then Saturday will be the series finale and the last game of the 8-game road trip. We talked about the 6-game homestand for the Grizzlies. Remember, Utah will be on the road for 22 of the first 36 games this season. Second half of the year, Utah will be at Maverick Center quite a bit, and that should certainly benefit them as Utah trying to defend their Mountain Division title. 12:31 left in the third. Both teams have been pretty good on the penalty kill. There hasn't been a power play goal so far. Seemed like we spent quite a bit of the first two periods of play with a little bit of a feeling out process as both teams trying to get used to the strengths and weaknesses of the other. Seems like about half of the Allen roster has returned from last season. Chad Costello, their first-year head coach, actually was a player with the Americans last year. If I remember right, he was actually second-team All-League. So I bet he could still get out there and play. It's Costello, the head coach of the Americans, and Ryan Kanaswich of the Grizzlies. Both teams have taken 25 shots. Tyler Penner leads Utah with 6 shots on goal. Pfizer, Cutler, and Nilsson each have 3 shots. Cameron Wright and Zach Sekos, as well as Cam Strong, each have 2 shots. For the Americans, it's been pretty balanced on their shooting attack. Zach Pachiro has 1 goal on 4 shots. I've been impressed with Hank Crone, number 67 of Allen. He has 3 shots on goal. Otherwise, he's a minus across the board. Anthony Durham has Allen's first period goal, 5:16 in. That gave the Americans a 1-0 lead. Marcel Godbout with the assist. Less than 2 minutes later, Taron Pfizer tied it up with his 6th of the year. Klerman and Raby with the assist. Pfizer has a point in 7 of his 8 games this season. Allen took the lead. Nick Albano fired a shot from the high slot that was redirected by Zach Pachiro. Pachiro got his 3rd goal of the season. Albano got his 3rd assist, and Jack Combs picked up his 4th assist of the season. A lot of fans having a good time over at Allen Event Center. Almost looks like we're getting like a Jumbotron feed, like what you would see on the video board over in Allen. That might be what we're seeing. And we apologize if you're tuned in on YouTube, as the description hasn't been very good tonight, and part of that's kind of having a tough time being able to identify players back and forth, seeing who's who. Well, they're taking quite a bit of time on this timeout, but, if they're just going to dance like that, we're not sure if they're looking at a video replay or what they're looking at. But it looks like this timeout has taken a little bit longer than what we normally would see. Other scores from around the league. Halfway through the second period, Idaho and Rapid City are tied at 1. Rush got a first period goal by Alex Aliardi, 7:21 in. Zane Franklin, the former Allen American who was just signed by Idaho, he scored his 2nd of the year. Matt Register and A.J. White with the assists. So they're tied at 1 about halfway through the second period. Wheeling leads Wheeling defeated Toledo 4-3 in a shootout. In a game that was played earlier this morning, former Grizzly Cedric Pare had a goal for Wheeling. And they could be working on the ice. They could be working on the boards. We don't know. All we're seeing is a bunch of fans dancing for an extended period of time over on Flow Sports. The clock is stuck at 12 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third period. There's Biscuit, the Bulldog of Allen, who apparently is not that close with Grisby. Grisby says not sure that's possible for anyone that cheers for the Allen Americans for Grisby to be friends with him. I don't know. I like Tommy Daniels. He's a cool guy. I might go on his podcast tomorrow. As we're not entirely sure why we're seeing fans, but nevertheless, the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies. We had about a 3-minute delay there without any live action. I'm not sure what they were working on, but Utah wins the face-off. Allen tries to keep it in, and they do. As they'll skate towards the right side, they'll feed the middle. Utah picks it off. Grizz will skate into the left side, stop at the point. Utah feeds it across to Cutler, but he couldn't quite handle it. Allen will dump it in. Utah racing after it. The arm is raised by the linesman. Good job by Andrew Nelson skating over there as icing is called on the Americans with 12:09 left in the third period. Draw's going to be an offensive zone one for Utah. Who's going to be that guy that ties up the game? Is it going to be Pfizer? Are we going to see Brandon Cutler from either of the circles? Normally we'd see him on the left side, but is he going to get a goal from the right? Or could it come up top from somebody like Nate Klerman or Andrew Nelson? Maybe Dakota Raby, who scored a goal in the season opener and hasn't scored since. Can Raby be the guy to tie the game as Allen leads 2-1? Pfizer will take the face-off. He's got Cutler to his right and Raby to his left. Draw won by Allen, but immediately taken away by Raby in the right corner. How did Raby get there so fast? He's got amazing speed. Nilsson feeds it down the middle for Pfizer. Bounced off his stick. Allen will overpower it out to center ice. Jack Combs had it bounce off a Grizzly. Utah dumps it in. Parasini to the side of his net will give way to a defenseman. Turnover, slot shot. That one goes wide as Cutler had a good look on a turnover from Gagnon. And the puck ends up towards the far corner. Allen trying to poke it out to center ice. Martin collides with him. It goes out to center. Klerman will feed it back into the Grizzly zone. Pfizer will bounce it off the near boards. Grizzlies step over the offensive blue line. Strong gets pushed back to neutral ice. That's where the puck is. Klerman back in his end will bounce it off the near wall. Allen battling at their blue line, their offensive blue line. They'll dump it to the corner. Martin races down to get it. The former third-round pick of Buffalo will give it to Klerman. Nate's a former draft pick of the Avalanche. Now Strong gets it. He feeds it across. It hits off of Metcalf. Boy, play has been really weird here tonight as the Grizzlies will feed it over to the right side for Klerman. Nate crosses center ice. He'll skate towards his left. Allen pokes it back towards the center ice red line. As the Americans will bounce it off the near wall. They get divorced from the puck. Utah gets it. They skate from left to right. Utah will bounce it off the boards. And a bouncing puck towards Penner on the right side. He'll dump it in. Racing after it's Jamison in the corner, but Allen gets there first. We get a whistle. And are we going to get a penalty? I think we are on Allen as they show Zachary Massicati. Massicati was just signed by the Americans not that long ago. 10:41's left in the third. And it does look like it's going to be a penalty on Allen. And it's going to be on Nicholas Blackman. Blackman getting his fourth different penalty tonight. Well, I couldn't see what he did. Did he hit Johnny Walker again? Blackman back to the penalty box. 10:41 is left in the third period. Hard to say whether we're taking a media timeout or not. But Blackman is back in the penalty box, and the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. It's been really tough for both teams in the neutral zone. It seems like, and that was a really weird 2 minutes of action where it didn't seem like either team was able to just carry it into the offensive zone and get the offense set up. I don't know if it's been great defense or if it's just been kind of that clunky midweek game type of feel. But the action has not been all that fluid tonight, as it seems like the passes have just been a little bit off. We're going to guess that there's a timeout on the ice. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Grizzlies will be on the power play. Allen leads 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, Tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
We're 5 seconds into the power play. Pfizer with a shot that got redirected off Parasini and goes out of play. Draw's going to be in the right circle. Nico Blackman is back in the penalty box for the 4th time tonight. He got a slashing minor, 9:19 in. Utah is 0 for 4 on the power play. It's their 5th opportunity tonight. Draw taken by Sekos and won by Sekos. Allen leads 2-1. Nielsen feeds it to the slot for Pfizer. Back to the left side now to Nielsen. Slot. One-timer saved by Parasini. Rebound goes out to Utah, but it's behind the net. Utah feeds it to the right point, but nobody's home. Nielsen back in his own zone. Gets it to neutral ice. As Allen takes it away, rolls towards Cutler. He gets back checked by Hargrove, but Cutler will throw it to Pfizer. Pfizer falls down. Ice surface kind of playing some tricks tonight. Left circle, Allen with a shot that goes wide. Puck rolls along the far boards. Grizzlies get it 2-on-2. Utah skates towards the middle. Sekos with a shot. He scores! Grizzlies tie it up. 9:59 left in the 3rd period. I believe it was Zach Sekos who skated down the middle, and it was as he gets his 5th of the year. And the Grizzlies on the power play have tied it at 2. And that's exactly how Utah needed to score. It was a transition game. Utah was able to carry it into the zone 2-on-2. Sekos skated towards the middle, fired a lefty shot, and it got past Luke Parasini. So Sekos gets his 5th of the year. We'll take a look at the ECHL app to see who gets assists on that. But it's a brand new game halfway through the 3rd period. And we're talking about Utah's 2 best goal scorers early in the season. Pfizer with the 1st period goal and Sekos halfway through the 3rd. We're back to 5-on-5 skating as the Grizzlies score their 8th power play goal of the season. As the Grizz won the face-off and dump it into the left corner. Allen around their net, over to Hank Chrome. As the Americans throw it to center ice, but it's Utah that gets it. As the Grizz throw it towards the center ice area, far side, and dump it in as it rolls around the wall. Parasini will pin it over to the near side. Penner will throw it to the corner. Utah will skate back. Dylan Fitz around back to the corner. Utah gets knocked down by Gagnon as Jack Combs will feed it off the screen deep into the Grizzlies zone. Looked like Hank Chrome was in there. Looked the puck, I think, went out of play. 9:22 left in the 3rd. And how about the Grizzlies' power play? Getting one there when they needed it the most. Sekos with the goal. Right now it's listed as unassisted. They might add an assist a little bit later on. So Utah's 1 for 5 on the power play. Allen 0 for 3. Looks like the officials are going to the scores table. Looked like Allen had cleared it out. Whether they cleared it out and it turned into like a delay of game or something, hard to really say. That's one of the unfortunate things about the remote broadcast is you're not able to see the whole ice, so sometimes you miss things like that. We'll come back and we'll see if either team's on the power play when we come back. 9:22 left in the 3rd. It's the Americans 2 and the Grizzlies 2 as Zach Sekos scored 10:01 in on the power play. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
$9:22 left in the 3rd period. Allen 2, Utah 2 as Zach Sekos scored 10:01 in. We'll see if they add an assist to somebody. Unfortunately, we were unable to see a replay. I know Pfizer was out there. Is he going to find a way to get an assist? Cutler was also out on the ice, as well as Wright and Nielsen. Some fans are doing the chicken dance over at Texas Credit Union Credit Union of Texas Event Center. Looks like Allen picked up a penalty. Looks like in the box now is Lord Anthony Grissom, according to the score bug on the top left of the screen. It looks like Lord Anthony got a bench minor delay of game. So Grissom is in the box, and the Grizzlies are on the power play again. We're tied at 2. Utah gets it to the right side for Pfizer. Grizz has done a good job on faceoffs here in the third period. Nilsson with a shot. That one goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Parasini. Rebound out to the left side. Allen takes it away as Jack Combs at neutralized. Very patient. He'll throw it back into his own zone as the Americans will now sail it towards Garrett Metcalf. 9 minutes are left in the third. Utah back behind Metcalf's net. Grizz start the attack from left to right. Nilsson throws it ahead. Now the Grizzlies enter. Sekos will drop it off for Pfizer at the right point. Pfizer will skate along the boards. He's now in the right circle. He'll get it across. Utah tries to feed it out to Sekos. He'll take a shot. That one goes wide as Allen might have blocked it. Over to Sekos on the right side. He's got 5 goals this season. He tries to feed it to the point. Allen takes it away. Grizz, get it back. Cameron Wright re-enters from the right side. Toe drag towards the middle. He gets knocked down. And Wright looks like he got hit up high. That's got to be a penalty, right? As Wright got hit up high as he tried to split a double team, and he's on 2 knees right now. And I got to think that's another penalty on Allen with just how high the hit was. Chris Mallory looks like he's going to skate towards the penalty box, and I think we're going to get a 5-on-3. Mallory hit right up top. Wright gets back to his feet, and it does look like Chris Mallory is going to get a penalty. I think I saw cross-check, the signal by the official from the side of the screen as he hit Cameron right up top. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for a minute 4. I wonder if Ryan Kanaswich is going to use his one timeout. This would be a good time to use it as it's a critical sequence in this game. 8:25 is left in the third. It's a 5-on-3 for a minute 4 as Mallory and Grissom are in the penalty box. It does look like Ryan Kanaswich is using his one timeout. We'll keep it here as Utah is in the middle of their 6th power play of the game. Utah right now is 1 for 5. Grissom got delay of game, 2-minute penalty, and Mallory gets 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time in that penalty, 11:35 in. Seems like tonight with Ben Tardif being called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier in the day, watch out for Pfizer, as it looks like the Grizzlies are trying to isolate him on the right side. Sekos is over on the left side at times. He's been with Bryson Martin. I know Andrew Nilsson's certainly been instrumental in the Grizzlies' recent power play success. Right now, that goal is still listed as unassisted. That was scored by Sekos. 10:01 in, as Kanaswich talking with his unit. 5-on-3 for a minute 4. Utah wins the faceoff as the draw was in the left circle. Nilsson in the right side. Oh, he tried to throw it to the left side, fanned on a pass. Puck exits the zone. Grizzlies will have to reset. Nilsson back in his own zone as Andrew skates down the middle. He'll get it to Pfizer. Terran will skate towards the right side. Oh, the Grizzlies delivered a hit at the blue line, and Gagnon goes down, and I think that's going to be a penalty on Utah. Probably interference as the Grizzlies were crossing center ice. Gagnon got hit, and looks like Utah is going to get called for it. Cutler was in the area, but I couldn't see if that was. I couldn't get a good look to see if it's Cutler, and it is. Brandon Cutler is going to go to the penalty box, and so that will do it for the 5-on-3 portion of the power play. Utah will still have a 5-on-4 power play for 47 seconds. Then after that, Anthony will come out of the penalty box, and then they'll skate 4-on-4 for a while. You talk about a golden opportunity with the 5-on-3, but Cutler gets a penalty. I think it was interference as he hit Gagnon. And Utah wins the draw. Remember, they still have the man advantage, but it's just a 5-on-4 power play now. Pfizer will feed it across off the boards for Sekos. He'll get it to Nilsson. Bounced off his stick. Crossing center ice is Hargrove. He'll get around Nilsson. Hargrove will skate in. He'll take a shot, and that one goes wide. And now Utah crosses center ice. Wright skates in, and he'll drop it off for Pfizer. Pfizer back to Wright. I try to get it back to Nilsson up top, and Allen clears it out. 10 seconds left in the 5-on-4. Grizzlies skate around the net as Sekos crosses center ice. Gets past Nilsson. He enters the zone from the right side as Sekos gets over to Pfizer. Now we're back to a 4-on-4 situation as Lord Anthony Grissom joins the play. Grizzlies roll it around the net, the boards. Now right point. Pfizer fires a shot. No, it was more of a pass to the corner. Utah will throw it to center ice as we're at even strength now. Grizzlies will back it out into their own zone. And they'll almost treat this 4-on-4 situation as if it's a 3-on-3 overtime type of scenario. As the Grizzlies cross center ice, they've scored 2 goals in a 4-on-4 situation early this season. Allen around the net. They pin it over to the near side as the Americans get it over to Jack Combs at neutral ice. He'll feed it across. Now Allen will peel back into their own zone. 15 seconds left in the 4-on-4 as Allen will skate towards their right. They step over the offensive blue line. Allen skates towards their left. They'll take a shot. That one goes wide. Puck rolls towards the left corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the third period as Mallory's out of the penalty box, and it looks like the Americans will be on the power play for 15 seconds. Grizzlies with a spin move as they enter the offensive zone. They'll pin it back as they'll dump it in deep to the Allen end. 5 seconds left, and Cutler will be out of the box as Allen stations himself behind Luke Parasini. Cutler's out of the box, and we're back to skating 5-on-5. 6:05 left in the third period. We're still tied at 2. At center ice, Utah picks it up, and Allen gets it back at their blue line. They'll feed it out to center ice, and the Americans will skate in. And Allen will get it poked away. Grizzlies will ice it. No cause. Allen rolls it around the boards, and the Americans out at neutral ice lose the puck. Utah gets pinned along the near wall, and that's Jamison as right in the area, but it's taken by Allen as they'll bounce it off the boards near the bench area. Connor McDonald skates towards the slot deep in the Grizzly zone and gets it as Utah will feed it out to neutral ice. Grizz cross center. They'll lift it in the air as it bounces into the right corner on one hop. Allen falls down in the corner, but they're able to get it across as Crone will feed it to the far side. Now Allen gets it to center ice. Allen over to the right point, and they'll take a shot. Blocker saved by Metcalf as the rebound goes over towards the left wing boards. Utah battling 2-on-2 along the near wall. Jackson Leopard over there for Allen. Utah takes it away. They'll nudge it out to center ice where it's regathered by Mallory. Now the Americans step over the offensive line as they'll roll it back around as it hits off the end wall. Grizzlies get hit, but they keep the puck as Utah feeds it to the right side for Jamison. He'll get it ahead, but Penner couldn't reach for it, and the puck ends up towards the Allen bench at neutral ice. Allen will feed it across. It's picked off at the center ice logo as the Grizz get to the offensive line. Fitz dumps it in, but it didn't get all the way back to the corner as Allen. 4.5 minutes left in the third period. We're tied at 2 as Gagnon gets around a skater. He's now in the left circle. Gagnon skates in on the goal line over to the right side, and the puck ends up back with Utah. The Grizz out to neutral ice. It's picked off again. Gagnon dumps it in as it goes back towards the near side. Utah will lift it in the air. Puck bounces in the Allen zone. No icing as it's taken by the Americans. Zachary Massicati wearing number 49. He'll nudge it ahead. Now it's out to center ice. Allen regains. Right circle. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Allen, but it's back to the left side. They couldn't do anything with it, so they spin it along the wall. Now it's on the right side. Allen trying to pin it back to the other side. Now they skate towards their left. As the puck back to Massicati, and he'll feed it to the left wing. Shot, kick save by Metcalf. As that shot was taken by Zach Pachero, who scored a second period goal. Puck on the right point. Allen gets it up top. Massicati, lefty shot. That one gets blocked as Utah will cut across center ice. Pfizer dumps it in. Clerman over in the right corner. Tries to get around Mallory as Clerman feeds over to the left circle. Taken by Sekos, who scored a big third period goal to tie the game. He'll get it across to McDonald. Connor with a shot, and that one goes wide. Puck along the far side. Allen will flip it high into the air, deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah runs after it. McDonald will feed it back to Bryson Martin. Now back to McDonald. Less than 3 minutes left in the third period. We're tied at 2. Kind of has that feeling of next goal wins as we're running out of time in regulation. McDonald will get it to Cameron Wright. It was kind of a softer pass. Wright throws it to center ice as the Grizz gain the offensive line as Cutler around the boards, gets to Wright on the right side. He'll bounce it off the end wall. Cutler behind the net. Sekos cutting across. Allen gets the puck as the Americans will bounce it out to center ice. It goes past Connor McDonald as McDonald gets it. No icing as he's being shadowed by Colton Hargrove. McDonald has the puck. He'll get it to Nielsen. Andrew gets to center ice and dumps it deep into the Allen zone. No icing as Fitz in the right corner as he gets it, as he gets double teamed. Penner skates over there. Mallory gets the puck and he'll feed it across as Allen will get it to center ice. The Americans into the offensive zone, right side. Good job by the Grizzlies, cutting Allen's pursuit from the right side. Now it's the Grizz to the left. Left wing, shot. Glove save by Parasini. And 1:52 is left in the third as Parasini holds on. Well, I couldn't tell. I think that was Tyler Penner that took that shot. He's been great for the Grizzlies offensively. If that is Penner, that is his 7th shot on goal of the night. No wonder why the score's been pretty even. Shots been pretty even. Allen with 30 shots. Utah's taken 27. There's less than 2 minutes left in regulation. That was Penner taking his 7th shot of the game. Draw is going to be in the Allen zone. Right now, the Sekos goal is still listed as unassisted. Utah is 1 for 7 on the power play. Allen is 0 for 4. Draw in the Allen zone is won by Utah. Left side, shot saved by Parasini. Rebound, Grizzlies couldn't convert on the second look. As Allen is able to get the puck in their own zone. Grizzlies retreat defensively. Allen turns it over. Pfizer, I looked to center it to Raby, but he couldn't reach it. Now left side, Cutler with a shot, and I think that rolled back, but it got blocked before it got to Parasini. As Pfizer, collides with his teammate, Raby, and loses the puck. As the Americans clear it out to center. Allen in the offensive zone, gets it to Combs. Combs drops it off. Righty shot goes wide. Boy, great opportunity for Allen, but they missed the net. Connor McDonald crosses center, 2-on-3. McDonald dumps it in as Allen was able to get back defensively. Utah makes a line change. Less than 1 minute left in the third. Mallory will feed it back to Saucerman. Now back to Mallory. He'll start the attack. He'll skate along the near wall as Mallory feeds it a cross-ice pass. Allen skates towards the right circle. They swung and missed. Now they take a shot that goes wide. Americans around the net. They'll throw it up top to Saucerman. He'll fire towards the net. It got redirected by Metcalf, and the Grizzlies come up with it. Half a minute left in regulation. As the puck bounced off the near side. Allen gets to the right side. Righty shot. That's blocked. And the Americans keep it in the offensive zone. Mallory feeds it to the left circle. Allen back in the corners. It wasn't handled cleanly by Hargrove. It rolls back towards the right wing boards. As in the corner, Hargrove battling with Martin. Grizzlies skate around the net with the puck. 10 seconds left. As Utah will feed it into Allen territory. Passes behind Sekos. 5 seconds left as Saucerman will station himself behind Luke Parasini and watch the rest of the time run out. Well, that will do it for regulation. Both teams get a standing point tonight. We'll find out who gets that second standing point here in about a minute. Well, the Grizzlies are 1-0 so far in overtime games. Last Friday, Cameron Wright scored 2:04 into overtime. That was the second game of the 3-game set against Kansas City. For Allen, checking to see if they've played overtime yet this season. Looks like it's the first time they played in overtime this year. As who's going to be on the ice for Utah? Expect Sekos and Pfizer to be active. I know Cameron Wright, who had the game winner last Friday, watch out for him as well. Who's going to be the defenseman? You probably are going to see a little bit of Klarman, a little bit of Nilsson. Might even see McDonald and Martin take a shift as Utah probably will go with 2 forwards and 1 defenseman to start overtime. For Allen, they've got obviously some skilled offensive players. Watch out for Jack Combs and Hank Crone. I've been really impressed with Crone tonight, a very skilled forward. Zach Pachiro, who redirected a shot late in the second period. Watch out for him to see plenty of ice time in the overtime session. In the ECHL, 7-minute overtimes. We'll skate 3-on-3. If nobody scores in the 7-minute overtime, we'll have a shootout. Both goaltenders have been pretty good. Garrett Metcalf stopping 28 of 30. Luke Parasini, so far for Allen, has stopped 26 of 28. Grizzlies are going to be skating from right to left. As we see it on Flow Sports, your mind's eye see it on YouTube. And boy, your mind's eye must unfortunately be a little bit confused and disappointed. We're just trying to describe the game the best we can with what we're able to get. But unfortunately, some of the key details go missing from time to time. Looks like Klarman's on the ice, as well as Wright and Sekos. So number 15, 16, and 17 for Utah to start overtime. Jack Combs will take the faceoff for Allen. Draw one by the Grizzlies. They battle along the near side, and Utah will feed it back deep in their own zone for Klarman. Nate will station himself behind Garrett Metcalf as the Grizzlies skate from right to left. Klarman will skate towards the near side. He's an outstanding skater. Klarman crosses center ice with speed. He'll veer off to the right. He'll step over the blue line as Klarman will get it to right. Right gets pushed out to neutral ice as Cameron feeds the left wing pass to Sekos. Zach will stop at his blue line. Now he'll start the attack. He faked out the camera guy pretty good. Sekos left side will take a shot. Saved by Parasini. Rebound goes to the Americans. Allen will dump a blue line to blue line pass as the Americans get blasted along the right wing boards. Sekos went down. Chris Mallory will drop it off for the left side. Leopard with a shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Utah. Actually, that was taken by Colton Hargrove. Hargrove and Leopard have been on the ice quite a bit together tonight. 1 minute into overtime. Utah gets some new skaters on the ice as the puck is behind Utah's net. As Sekos exits, somebody with the puck will feed it to the right side. Taron Pfizer will skate towards the right circles. He steps over the offensive line. Pfizer will be in the right point. He gets it taken away as Allen with the puck as they'll feed it to the near side. As the Americans cross center, Jackson Leopard gets around Cutler. Now Leopard to the right side. He'll skate towards his left. Leopard will drop it off to the left corner as the Americans back behind the net. Hargrove battling. He gets held up in the corner. Now Leopard gets it. He'll nudge it up top for Sosserman. Sosserman skates towards his right as the Americans are in their attack zone. Sosserman centering pass. Shot. Saved by Metcalf. As Garrett got a piece of it, Utah gets it back. Grizz cross center ice. As Brandon Cutler steps over to the left circle, take a shot, saved by Parasini. Parasini drops the puck to make sure it stays in play. He didn't want the Grizzlies to get an offensive zone draw. As Leopard crosses center ice to the right side, he gets back checked. Leopard will drop it off for center ice. Sosserman gets it. Sosserman, not a very big guy, but he's certainly skilled with the puck. He's back in his own zone. He'll feed it across. Allen's still on their own end as Sosserman gets it back. He'll skate around his net as he's out there along with Jared Bethune. As the Americans still deep in their own zone, 2.5 minutes into overtime. Allen will throw a pass out to neutral ice. Americans back into their own zone. Now they'll cross center ice. 3-on-3, they enter the zone. Over to the left circles. They'll bounce it off the end wall. Allen around the net. Pachiro feeds it up top. Shot. That's blocked before it gets to Metcalf. Left circle as Bethune gets taken away. Grizzlies skate towards their blue line as they get held up. As Allen will feed it back towards their goaltender, Nick Albano. He'll outlet it out to neutral ice. Pachiro at center ice. Well, the ice must not be very good tonight. Both teams have had a tough time handling the puck. Albano will get it back to Pachiro. He's in the Allen zone, skating from left to right. Pachiro will bounce it off the far boards. Allen crosses center ice 1-on-2. Now they'll step over the blue line, get it over to Albano. He skates along the left wing boards. He'll throw it back up top to the point. Allen, Crone will feed it to the high slot. As Allen has it with Jack Combs. He'll back it out to neutral ice. Combs back in his own zone, wearing number 21. As he'll feed it to neutral ice, drops it off for Dalton Skelly. Skelly over to the left side, looks to center. It goes to the right side. Net gets dislodged as Metcalf goes down, and Jack Combs looking at a missed opportunity there as he shakes his head. And that what looked like a really good centering pass they got through, and then the net got dislodged, and Metcalf went down. They'll show a replay as Skelly was on the left side, skated towards the circle, centered it to Combs, and Garrett knocked his own net over as he dove to try to make sure to intercept the Combs pass. So, crafty move by Garrett Metcalf, kicking the net open just to the right time. But remember, Garrett is about 6'5", maybe 6 foot 6 inches, so, those legs got to go somewhere. 3:13 is left in overtime. We're tied at 2 as they'll put the net back in place as Garrett kind of dove to, it looked like the pass to Combs. He was skating in from the right side and looked like he was about to accept the pass at center ice right there in front of the net. But the net got this. There was no net to shoot in because Garrett kicked it open. 3:13 left in overtime. They'll put the net back in place. And I'm sure Garrett might get a warning. Next time he does that, might be a penalty. But it's a good time to use that in the overtime where the next team scores wins. We're tied at 2. Both teams will get at least a standing point out of this, and we'll see if, who gets a second standing point. They usually don't take media timeouts during the overtime session, so maybe it's taking them a little bit longer to get the net back in place. Hard to really say, as it's an interesting time to just be watching a bunch of fans dancing around in the arena. Like I said before, I think we're getting the same type of feed that you would get on the Jumbotron over in Allen, their big video board. We're in overtime, tied at 2. Allen had a 2-1 lead going into the third period, and Zach Sekos got a power play goal, 10:01 in. That tied it at 2, and that's where we stand now. Neither team's taken an official shot here so far in overtime. Actually, let's take a look on that again. Both teams have 2 shots so far in overtime. Allen has outshot Utah 33-30. The draw is going to be in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone as Allen wins the face-off. They'll throw it to the corner. Sekos over there with Hargrove as Sekos pins it along the far side. Puck is still in the Grizzlies zone as Allen gets pushed out to neutralize. As Leopard skates towards the Grizzlies bench, Allen has it. They're in their own zone. Less than 3 minutes left in overtime. As the Americans skate from left to right, they'll get it out to neutralize. As the Americans skate in from the right side, Leopard drops it off for Hargrove. Now it's taken by Skelly. Skelly over to Leopard. He's in the high slot. As he'll skate towards his right, he'll drop it off for Hargrove on the left. Hargrove over to Skelly on the right. Skelly being shadowed by Pfizer. He'll feed it to the corner. Now back to Skelly from Leopard. As Skelly will back it out to neutralize himself. Wright's at the end of his shift as he raises his arm and he comes off the ice. Blue line to blue line pass. Allen enters the zone. Americans will bounce it off the right wing corner. Taken by Pfizer. Pfizer with the puck. He's out there along with Bryson Martin and Brandon Cutler. Pfizer behind his goal line. He'll feed it to the right side for Martin. Martin to Cutler. He's in the right wing. He crosses into the zone. Cutler near the boards. He'll skate towards his left. Now back it out to neutralize as Pfizer leaves the ice. As Cutler will drop it off for Raby. Raby crosses center ice right side. He'll skate towards the circle. Raby towards the slot. Gets it back up top for Cutler, but it goes past him off the boards and goes out to neutral ice. Cutler tried to get it back to Raby, but Cutler will back it out into his own zone on a pass to Martin. Martin skates down the middle. They make that Klerman. Right side will take a shot that's blocked. 1:25 left in overtime. As Klerman feeds it to the right point. Nobody home. Allen races over to get it. 1-on-2. The Americans into the attack zone. They'll skate towards the corner. Hank Chrome. As he'll skate back towards the point. He'll feed it to Chris Mallory. Now the Americans back it out to neutralize. 1:10 left in overtime. Now he'll throw it ahead. Allen quickly enters the zone. As over to the right side. Allen, Jack Combs will skate towards the right side, fire a backhand shot saved by Metcalf. Puck still in play. As Combs over in the left point. He'll get it across to Mallory. Mallory back to Combs. He's in the right circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Good stop by Garrett. As Combs kind of casually skated towards the right circle. Tried to go 5-hole on Garrett. But the Utah netminder was ready and was able to make the stop. 49 seconds left in overtime. Garrett's been outstanding tonight. In fact, he's been outstanding in each of his 3 outings this season. As he has started the last 3 games, and he's done an outstanding job winning 2 games against Kansas City, and tonight stopping 32 of 34. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. 49.4 seconds left in overtime. Remember, if neither team scores here in the final 49 minutes of OT, we will have a shootout to decide the winner of this one. Good goaltending on both sides. Allen wins the draw as Hargrove skates towards the right, trying to split a double team. Now he'll feed it to the corner. Hargrove gets it back. He'll spin it around the wall. Utah racing over there. Allen will back it out to neutralize themselves as Pachiro back in his own end. 30 seconds left in overtime. As he'll feed it out to center ice. Allen will gain the line as they'll skate towards the right circle. Good job by Connor McDonald cutting him off. 20 seconds left. Right, over to McDonald on the right side. He'll skate towards the circle. McDonald with a shot, and he scores! Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win! The captain gets his first of the year, and with 13 seconds left in overtime, the Grizzlies get a 3-2 victory. The captain is the hero tonight, and there is no doubt about it. As Connor McDonald skated along the right side, looked like Cameron Wright was down the middle, but McDonald called his own number as he gets it past Luke Parasini. And how about that? The Grizzlies get the extra standing point. McDonald made that play as he cut off Allen out in front of Utah's net, had the puck and went coast to coast, and the captain gets his first of the season, and what a time for it. Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 2. And what a victory, as Utah is now 2-0 in overtime, and the Grizzlies high fives all around as they celebrate, as they walk to the locker room, victorious. Final score, Utah 3, Allen 2. It was kind of a lighter crowd on this Wednesday night. McDonald with the goal, Cameron Wright and Zach Sekos with the assists. Time of goal, 6:47. Into overtime as the captain is the hero this evening. Connor McDonald is first of the year. He had 3 goals last season. That is McDonald's first game winner as a Grizzly. Post-game show coming up next, and it's a happy one as the Grizzlies have now won 3 in a row. Connor McDonald is the hero as he gets the game winner, 6:47 into overtime. Grizzlies 3 and the Americans 2. Post-game show coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. It's a happy Wednesday night as Connor McDonald scores the game winner with 13 seconds left in overtime. I'm Tyson Whiting. For a while there, I thought we were going to have a shootout, especially with the way both goaltenders looked. But Connor McDonald played a great game defensively. He's the kind of guy that makes all those plays that don't show up on the stat sheet. I wish we had seen the full play on a replay as McDonald, Allen looked like they had the puck, and it looked like Allen really did a good job controlling the puck for the second half of overtime. Somehow McDonald cut in front and was able to get the puck, and he skated from the right wing all the way out of the Grizzly zone into center ice. Cameron Wright was skating down the middle, and it looked like Utah had a 2-on-1. It was tough to count Allen players, but I'm almost expecting, I think Luke Parasini was thinking that McDonald would make that pass to Cameron Wright out in front of the net. Instead, Connor called his own number, got all the way to the right circle, and was able to find some room. And I wish I could see a replay to see exactly how he scored, whether it was over Parasini's shoulder. But either way, the only thing that really matters is the Grizzlies come away with a 3-2 victory as they have won 3 in a row after losing the series opener against Kansas City. And then they beat Kansas City last Friday and Saturday, and they get the victory tonight as Utah is now 2-0 in overtime this season. Cameron Wright got the game winner in OT last Friday. And tonight, it's the captain, Connor McDonald, that comes through when Utah needed it the most. And who knows what would have happened had the game gone to a shootout. Since Garrett Metcalf was outstanding, he gets his 3rd victory of the season as Garrett goes to 3-0. He stopped 32 of 34. Luke Parasini, I thought, played a pretty good game as well. He stopped 28 of 31. On the McDonald goal, Cameron Wright and Zach Sekos with the picked up the assists. And I think you have to think about Zach Sekos, getting star honors tonight. He scored that game-tying goal, 10:01 into the 3rd, and Sekos with an assist in the game winner. But it looks like we'll get to the 3 stars of the game, and it looks like Zach Sekos has been shut out of star honors. Well, Allen scored first tonight. Anthony Durham got a breakaway from about the offensive blue line in as he just skated down the middle. Nate Klerman was towards his left just a little bit, but Durham was past him and got the puck past Garrett Metcalf. Marcel Godbout was the one that threw the puck over towards Durham. Godbout spells his last name Godbout. Last season, he played for Peoria of the SPHL. Threw it to Durham, and Anthony Durham, I thought, was one of Allen's better forwards tonight. And when he scored 5:16 into the game, Allen led 1-0. Less than 2 minutes later, Taryn Pfizer scored his 6th of the year as Utah had a 3-on-2. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see a replay. We didn't get to see a replay of any of the goals, but looked like Raby was the one skating to the left side, centered it to Pfizer. It was about halfway from the blue line to the goal line, and Pfizer just had all sorts of room. And Taryn put it away for his 6th of the season. Pfizer's got a point in 7 of his 8 games this season, and he's got a goal in 5 of 8 games. He's done an outstanding job all season. He leads the team with 6 goals, and Taryn put it away, 7:06 into the first. Score was tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. In the second period, Nick Albano fired a shot from the slot that was redirected by Zach Pachiro. Pachiro scored his 3rd of the year, 16:51 in. Albano and Jack Combs with the assists. Allen led 2-1 after 2 periods. Third was kind of a bit clunky. I don't know if the ice surface wasn't all that good in Allen or whatever the case may be, but it looked like both teams really having a tough time handling the puck. And I do think both teams were pretty good in the neutral zone. They really did a good job, did both sides, and not letting either team really get any sort of momentum into the offensive zone. Grizzlies were able to get a power play as Nico Blackman, who had 4 minor penalties tonight, got a slashing minor, 9:19 in. And while the Grizzlies were on the power play, it was a little bit slow for about the first 30 seconds. Then the Grizzlies were able to get a 2-on-2 with some momentum as Zach Sekos just kind of skated in from the right side, kind of carried it over to the left and fired away and got past Luke Parasini. Sekos is one of those guys, he can create shots on his own, and it looked like on that occasion he created his own look. Right now it's listed as unassisted, but it's possible that an assist could be added later on before Friday's game. But Sekos got his 5th of the year. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games. He scored 10:01 into the 3rd period. It was a power play goal. Utah went 1 for 7 on the power play. Allen went 0 for 4. So the Grizzlies won the battle of the special teams, and neither team scored in the final half of the 3rd period. And then we went to overtime. Regulation ended with Allen out shooting Utah 31-28. Both teams had 3 shots in overtime. I think Jack Combs might have had Allen's best look in OT as he skated towards the right side kind of casually towards the circle, then fired a quick-looking wrist shot to Metcalf as he tried to go 5-hole, but Garrett was able to make the save there. How about Garrett Metcalf stopping 32 of 34? He earned the victory. He is now 3-0 on the season. His backup tonight was Trent Miner, and we really don't know any details, so I know a lot of fans have been curious about it, but it does sound like Lucas Preek is doing okay as he was involved in an accident after Saturday's game. Looks like Lucas will be okay, but he'll be out of the Grizzlies lineup for a little bit. But Garrett did the job tonight, and Trent Miner was the backup as he was reassigned to the Grizzlies from the AHL's Colorado Eagles a couple days ago. It might have been yesterday that he was officially added to the Grizzlies roster. And then we got towards the end of overtime where McDonald was just skating along the right side, kind of went coast to coast from circle to circle. And I do think that Parasini was thinking that McDonald would make the pass. As Wright was cutting down the middle, there wasn't much time in overtime, but you think about McDonald as more of a distributor than a goal scorer. So I think Parasini in the back of his mind and, kind of the side of his eye was thinking that Wright was going to, that McDonald was going to try to find Wright out in front. But McDonald called his own number, and good thing he did, as he scored his 1st of the season, and what a time for it, as it's the game winner, Connor McDonald, with a pretty good goal celebration afterwards, as the Grizzlies have now won 3 in a row, and it's one of those games, like every overtime game. Could have been anybody's hockey game. Allen earned the standing point, and I think it was really Luke Parasini and the job he did that earned the standing point for Allen. But you get to overtime, both teams had 3 shots that easily could have gone either way. I was expecting a shootout, but McDonald with the late heroics says, we got Guy Carenza hanging out with us tonight, and what an ending, as Connor McDonald, of all people, the captain, turns out to be the hero.
What a game, and that just goes to show any given moment, any guy can step up, and this time it was the captain, Connor McDonald, leading the way with the overtime winner.
And Garrett Metcalf, he's now 3-0 on the season. He stopped 32 of 34, and it's hard to really gauge how many of those were grade A type of looks, but Garrett, once again, solid in net, keeping his team in it.
Oh, no question about it. Garrett Metcalf is personally my #1 star of the game. I think that's going to get overlooked when you look at the box score. But Metcalf was fantastic, especially into the late third period where he made that sprawling save, ended up knocking the net off. But, I mean, he left it all out there. Really fantastic performance by Metcalf. And, like, the Grizzlies, in my opinion, have the greatest and deepest goalie depth in the league, and they're showing that tonight.
Utah is now 4-2 on the road trip. They've won 3 in a row. They won the road trip opener against Idaho, then lost 2 straight. Now they've won 3 in a row. And so I'm thinking about, obviously you'd love to sweep Allen, but, if you're thinking about just winning one of the next 2 games, you're coming home with no worse than a 5-3 road trip. And with as tough as it is to win road games in this league, hey, you'll take that any day.
Yeah, of course. Any win on the road is, a really big victory overall. The Grizzlies were a good team on the road last season. That's what helped them win the Mountain Division title. So if they can be as good on the road this year as they were last year, they're going to be in good shape for going for the division crown.
Now, how would you rate this video? We're not going to rate the video feed from Allen, but I apologize to the people listening on YouTube. It had to have been confusing for them because, unfortunately, it was confusing for me at times. But hey, at least we're able to identify the goal scorer in Connor McDonald with the game winner.
Listen, partner, hats off to you. You did a fantastic job calling this game because I feel like at some points in time, they were showing more of the fans in attendance than the actual gameplay. So, I mean, all credit to you. You did a fantastic job tonight with what you were given. You play with the hand that you're dealt, and I thought you did a really good job. But, maybe a little bit of camera work next time.
No. I could just hear the people in the parking lot all the way at home. Everybody's like, this Tyson Whiting guy sucks. He's not describing the game at all.
No, you're fantastic, buddy. You're one of the best in the game. I expect you to be up for Broadcaster of the Year when things are all said and done.
Well, I wasn't in the top 5 last year. We'll see if this year's any different. But if they tuned into a game like tonight, I'm probably already checked off for this year and probably just going to be in the bottom half again.
No. One of the best in the league for sure, and a fantastic mentor.
See, that best intern in the league, no question about it. Guy Carens has got to be the best intern, and if he's not the best intern, it's got to be Kiki Crum, who's working on the post-game story as we speak. And we'll see how that turns out. I think it's going to be a pretty good post-game story. And after all, it had a happy ending as Connor McDonald picks up the game winner, 6:47 into overtime, just as we expected. We expected, of course, it was going to be Connor McDonald. Hey, I was thinking Zach Sekos. He was my pick to click, and Sekos scored that big third-period goal. Now, on the live chat, you got the computer that's over there. I'm just looking at the game on Flow Sports. I think from the Grizzlies' perspective, I mean, McDonald obviously with the game winner. He's the #1 star of the game. If anybody had Connor, then they win. If they didn't have Connor, I think with Zach Sekos getting the game-tying goal halfway through the third period and an assist on the game winner, if nobody picked McDonald, then I think we're going to go with Zach Sekos as the Picks to Click champion tonight.
I don't think I see any Sekoses in here, but I think that one goes to you.
You telling me I won tonight?
Yeah, you won tonight. You had the crystal ball tonight. You saw it, and you predicted it. I see a few Metcalfs in here. I'll give some shout-outs to the Metcalfs. Dean had Metcalf.
I think Metcalf, I mean, it's hard to say. We got to pick one. We can't have multiple winners. Sekos or Metcalf. You got a coin, Kiki? We need to toss a coin here. Guy, do you have a coin? We might have to.
I don't have a coin on me.
Between Sekos and Metcalf, I think Kiki might have a nickel there. Maybe we'll take a dime. We need to figure out who the Picks to Click winner is.
The fact that we're even in this situation just goes to show how big of a team win this was. I mean, there were a lot of guys on the Grizzlies that played really well, and it ended up showing here in the end. Oh, I guess we do have a coin.
Or we got a coin. Heads, it's Sekos, and tails, it's Metcalf. It's really Connor McDonald, but I don't think anybody picked the captain. All right, heads is Sekos, tails is Metcalf. Garrett Metcalf is the Picks to Click champion.
All right, so I saw Nadine with Metcalf, and that might be the only Metcalf.
Nadine's going to be the winner tonight?
It looks like that is the case. So I guess I'll give it a tie between you and Nadine because you had Sekos, and he had the game-tying goal, which was pretty big. So split that, 50-50.
Well, It's just a shame nobody picked the captain, or else we would have easily just gone with them. Maybe it would be that Connor McDonald wins and nobody won tonight. I don't know.
Oh, well, I think the only thing that matters is that the Grizzlies got the win tonight. And, of course, Connor McDonald leading the way. Maybe he'll get more picks to click in the future because of this. But overall, great game. Very exciting.
Well, that's the problem. You need to do something statistically. And what Connor does, the impact he is winning battles in the corner, moving the puck along. It's the stuff that makes Connor McDonald such a good player is the stuff away from the puck as much as what he does with it. But as we saw there in overtime, he can do some things with the puck as well.
Yeah, he's a very crafty defenseman, and you don't really see a lot of those around the league. And when you do, they don't really get a lot of recognition. And I mean, it goes to show with the picks to click. Nobody picked him to be the guy to click, but in those situations, it's a guy like Connor McDonald that you want on your team to lead the way and make those plays behind the scenes, the plays that don't necessarily stand out on the score sheet, but end up winning you games in the end.
Looks like the 3 stars of the game. Number 3 star, according to the box score that we have on the ECHL app, Luke Parasini, who stopped 28 of 31. He got him a standing point tonight. He's the number 3 star. Number 2 star is Anthony Durham, who had 1 goal, was a +1. He scored 516 into the game. Number 1 star is Connor McDonald, who had the game winner. I think we'll do our own 3 stars tonight.
Yeah.
McDonald's the number 1 star. Number 2 star will be Zach Sekos with 1 goal and 1 assist. And the 3rd star is Garrett Metcalf. Metcalf stopping 32 of 33 as he's now won 3 in a row. Any disagreements with that 3 stars? As we're just going to make our own up tonight.
No, it sounds pretty on par for me. But I do think we do have to give Parasini some credit. He was really good tonight and kept Allen in this game when the Grizzlies were firing away. But overall, yeah, I like ours better.
We'll catch Kiki Crum's post-game story at UtahGrizzlies.com. Almost seems like she's already got it typed up. Yep, she's got it typed up and all ready to go. That was a fun one here tonight as the Grizzlies get a 3-2 victory as their record goes to 5-3 on the season. Allen does get a standing point tonight. Their record goes to 2-3-1 as they now have 5 standings points through 6 games. Now for Kiki Crum and Guy Carenza, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be on Friday night. 5:50 pregame show, 6:05 face-off. And we apologize on YouTube if we couldn't quite describe the game the way we wanted to. But, hey, just kind of deal with the hand that you've been dealt with. And the Grizzlies got dealt a winning hand here tonight. Connor McDonald with the game winner, 6:47 into overtime. Once again, the final score in 2 hours and 37 minutes and in front of 2,419 at Allen Event Center. Connor McDonald's the hero. The captain gets the game winner, his first of the year, as the Grizzlies defeat the Allen Americans 3-2. We'll talk to you on Friday night. You've been listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network.